Abbot.
We'll arrive not a moment too soon.
When do we start?
Tonight.
Good. I'd like to get in, get on with it, get it over with, and get out. Get it?
Got it.
Good.
I had a vision of bliss today. In fact, I experienced it for quite a long time. I was driving around London. Oh, it was great. There was no one else on the roads. There was no congestion charge. And you could park for free. Oh. Next year, I'm going to write it down in my diary. No drinking on New Year's Eve. Go to bed early so you can get in your car and just drive around all day long. It was great. If only every day could be that easy, and life would be worth living.
Did you make the most of it?
I tried, yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of shops were inconveniently closed. Can you believe that?
Just on the day you can park for free, as well.
I know, yeah. Well,
I'm sure they purposely do it.
some stayed open. Bless them for doing it. Because there's nothing that you want to do at this time of year other than to get sucked in as though they were magnets to signs that say sale. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I don't actually need to buy anything.
No,
but
me
I want
either.
To. I feel the need to.
Yeah, of course.
And you buy 4 of them because you get them for the price of 3.
You're sounding very distant.
Am I?
Yeah. Levels.
Am I here?
Oh, you're talking in the wrong end of the microphone.
Yeah, I put it the right way around for her.
Good
Hang on.
grief. Have you done this before?
No. I'm work experience.
I'm not completely satisfied with the level of help.
That microphone's actually held in by a rubber band.
Is it?
Can you believe that? That's the engineering in this
The rubber
place.
band man.
Am I back? Oh, I can hear myself now.
Crack team
Now
of,
you're back.
of 5 engineers in this building.
Hey,
So where did you drive around today?
now you're very loud. Let's do all of the rehearsal on the air.
Right. Should we start again?
I went to the Natural History Museum, which was absolutely rammed. Every screaming kid on the face of the planet was crammed into that fantastic building. And every
So it's
time
the
I
only
go
thing
in
open?
there, it was... every time I go into that building, I think this is the best-looking building in London, both outside and inside. It's just magnificent.
You should have just stood outside then and appreciated its magnificentness.
Right. You're sounding as dog rough as you look.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I didn't even,
Could have
booze
stayed
it
at
up
home to have been
last night.
insulted.
What?
I didn't even
Two
booze
people
it
talking
up
at the
last
same
night.
time. Wait till one person finishes and then the other starts.
Yeah.
Over.
Right, one at a time, please.
No, I was saying I didn't even get, hammered last night.
Well, I didn't think I did, but I feel terrible today.
Too much
Two-
driving around.
2 bottles of champagne between 2 people, that's not that much, is it?
A bottle each.
Be reasonable, yeah. And because it's champagne, you have to make sure that each one of you gets exactly the same amount.
Oh, are you one of those?
Yeah.
You have to measure them out and sit them right next to each other.
Right
the
next to each
glasses.
other, and if there's any discrepancy in the pouring, it must be corrected straight away, yeah.
Topped off.
If it was any old rubbish, then you wouldn't care so much, right? But if it's got fizz in it, it must be exact. But that doesn't seem like a very large amount, but I just felt terrible today.
I think there is something going around, though. Lots of people in the office have been saying they felt really rough. And not through drinking.
Oh, come on. New Year's Day, a lot of people in the office.
No, over the last week.
Oh, right.
Bad stomach, feeling sick.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just I feel a little bit rough, that's all. I don't have any disease. If I did, I'd have told you about it by now. We're 7 minutes into the show. You
Oh,
think
that's
I
true.
think I wouldn't have given you a full medical rundown?
How's your shoulder?
It's getting better. Thanks for asking.
Oh, what's wrong with your
Knee's
shoulder?
still giving me jib. OK, well, let's start from the very beginning.
Oh,
I was
no,
born-
Alex.
I was born 47 years ago today, and that's when my problems
Today?
started. No, not today. Whenever my birthday was. Happy birthday to me! Whenever it was. No, but I tell you what, driving around London today was just absolute bliss. I went to the Natural History Museum because they have an exhibition on there called the Wildlife Photographer of the Year Award. It's a phone-in show, by the way. You can phone me if you like. You don't have to talk about what I'm talking about. Anything that's on your mind, that's fine. 0845 6060 973. Are you making notes?
Yeah.
Making a list already. Well, so far she's written driving in London on New Year's Day.
That's going to be the first thing that I read out at the end
but
of the
what
show.
about my shoulder?
Oh, yeah, that features in every list, I think.
Yeah.
There we
Shoulder.
go.
My knee. I'll talk about
Oh,
my knee a little
knee.
bit later on. Yeah.
There we go. I don't want to miss anything off.
Parking.
Oh, we didn't do parking yet.
Right, parking. We'll write that down ahead of time.
Okay, anything else you're going to
in
talk
order
about
to
save me time?
Yeah, save time later. Well, we'll just go with that.
Okay.
And then we'll do a running commentary as we go along.
Okay, so your knee.
Yeah, well, I'll skip over that.
Well, shoulder.
I'll
I
skip
don't know
over.
about the shoulder.
No, I don't like to complain.
So, sorry, what did you say?
How about just this once?
I
bank
don't know
holiday.
what it is.
New
I went
Year's.
to my doctor and he said, "Oh, you got to go swimming." Oh
Oh no!
swimming? What? The thing that makes you get wet? I hate
Well, that will
swimming.
make your shoulder worse, won't it?
Well, you'd
that
think so.
action?
No, this was for my knee.
Swimming for your knee?
Yeah.
Not heard that one before.
Well, it takes the weight off the knee apparently and allows you to. Oh, I don't know. He's just making it up.
So just laying in bed.
Maybe I should come to you.
Yeah, can you just said, look, I already sit in front of the TV
And
all
I
day
only
long,
charge half the price.
so surely that's good for my knee. Just sitting watching
Well,
The
you think
Sopranos
I
on
don't
repeat.
do anything. In fact, I injured my shoulder and my knee lying asleep in bed.
I never knew that.
And I'm not one of these people that thrashes about in his sleep. I am in exactly the same position when I wake up
Well, the
as
thing
when
is,
I go to sleep.
You wouldn't know, though, because you're asleep.
Did you fall out of your bunk bed? Or is that what happened?
Yeah, my evil older brother took the ladder away. So how's that possible? How is it possible to render yourself virtually incapable of movement while you're asleep? I don't understand. Yes?
Well,
Well, that shut you up, didn't it? Blimey. Note that down,
I've
Alice.
got a bad hip, and I don't know how
Really,
I've done
that's
that.
nice, but we're talking about me.
Should I go swimming?
But I don't see swimming. Oh, that just brings up a whole new set of problems because you get water in your ear and then the wax doesn't come out. The amount of times I had to go to the ENT guy to basically stuck a hoover in my ear to suck out the wax.
Could
which
you
makes
hear after that,
such
though?
a noise. It's incredible.
But I've heard once you have your ears syringed, suddenly everything's about 1,000,000 times louder.
For about half an hour, yeah, it's incredible. I thought, the first time it happened, I thought that somebody was following me. It was actually the rustling of my own clothes, which I'd never heard before. It's extraordinary how much you can hear. But, ordinarily there's a ball of wax in there the size of a tennis ball.
Apparently they used to do it with a candle. Draw the wax out.
I'm not sure that I
I don't know that
really like the sound of that.
No, I wouldn't.
But no, I went to this a man who looked like he'd stepped out of a Dickens novel with like a wind-up Hoover, basically, with a syringe attachment on the end, which he rammed, jamming it in my ear to suck the wax out.
Didn't say Henry on the side of it, did it?
Because when water goes in your ear, it hardens the wax and it won't come out. So, because I used to swim a lot. Up and down and 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 back and forth and to and fro and on and on and on and on and on. It's got so interesting.
Boring!
And you're watching the plasters float by, looking at the filth on the bottom of the pool.
Where do you swim?
Well, I
in
used
a local pond.
I used to swim at the gym, but after a while, you do build up your stamina to an extraordinary degree, such that you're doing 60 lengths, and there's nothing more boring in the world
I know.
than doing that amount of swimming. So I gave up on that, and I went to the gym, and that's, of course, where I started to really injure myself. It's very dangerous. Don't go.
Well, that's how I think I've got all my injuries now.
Really? Like I said, we're talking about me.
I'm really healthy and I don't go to the gym at all.
That's nice. That's the
I've got no
key.
injuries whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I've never set foot inside the gym.
Right. And
Yeah,
go,
but
kids.
you can tell.
Yeah.
mind you, nobody can
trying
tell
to say?
nobody can tell how healthy you are. You could be, you could actually be sitting there dead, or in the rudest of health, covered in hair as you are.
Well, people have suggested that I might be dead. And there's someone operating me.
It's like looking at a Wookiee. I've got no idea whether you're even dead or alive. Look at these lines. 0845 6060 973. I know you're all holding your head in your hands going, oh, never again until tomorrow. But come on, people. Anyway, so I went to the Natural History Museum. They got the natural history, photography, wildlife whatever it is.
Of the year.
That exhibition that lasts almost all year until... it lasts 12 months until the next one comes around. It's almost never not there. It's very good. I thoroughly recommend it. But don't go when other people are there, because they get in the way, and it's very annoying, and there's very calming music in there. And you come out... There was relatively few people in there, and they have this very calming, like New Age, sort of very peaceful and chilled, trippy music. Not like that at all. And so you're lulled, and the lighting is very dark, and the images that you're looking at are very beautiful, and so you're lulled into a
false sense of security?
Pretty much, yeah. And then when you come out of this beautiful, serene, calm environment into the Natural History Museum itself, and you're presented with every screaming child under the sun. It's a culture shock like of which I've hardly ever experienced. I needed all the pills that I'd left in the car just to get over it.
That is one of the most annoying things about life itself, screaming children.
Now, do we have travel? There won't be any travel news, right? Because there's no cars on the roads. I mean, coming here tonight...
Well, that is the travel news. There's
coming
no
here
cars.
tonight, it was the easiest journey I've ever had. I barely passed no other car on the way here. Everyone's inside going... Oh! Self-inflicted wounds. And then I went to Sloane Street and saw something really quite evil. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. This is LBC.
Nick Abbott.
Hello, boys.
I brought in with me the world's biggest apple. I've never seen an apple as big as this before, and I've been trying to eat it. In between the little... that break wasn't long enough. It's starting to go brown, and I'm only sort of halfway through it, and I don't like brown. Anyway, I saw something really evil on Sloane Street. It was... I actually couldn't believe my eyes, and I think that it's actually against the law, what I saw. But first, let me take this call. It's Robert in the Rhondda.
Hello there.
Hey, how are you going?
Oh, excellent. We're a new year, new start, or another day. However you want to look at it.
It's all completely random. We're just in a point at space, which doesn't mean anything. We've gone around the sun once, which, like I said yesterday, considering the distance involved, you'd think that it would have taken a lot longer than a year.
It's a really quick year, that was.
Pardon?
It was a really quick year, I found.
Well, yeah, believe me, Robert, they start to speed up from now on. How old are you?
Sorry?
How old are you?
22.
22, right.
Yeah,
well.
and I'm starting to watch aging programs, and I'm buying moisturisers, and it's actually getting very worrying.
Yeah.
So
Don't read the Daily Mail today. The entire paper was stuffed full of things that will make you fearful for your life.
I don't read the Daily Mail, then.
Good.
Unless she's reached certain age. I had a hilarious text message last night. Before the phones get busy, just a quick message to say Happy Easter from all of us at the Alzheimer's Society, and all the best for 1983.
Alzheimer's Society?
The joke.
Oh, right.
Anyway, did you see the Daily Mirror today? Actually, before I get to that, did you see that, the countdown to, what year are we in? 2008? The BBC thing last night?
Yes, I did, and I compared and contrasted the way that the BBC showed the fireworks and the way that Sky showed the fireworks.
I didn't see Sky, but I saw the build-up with Sky, and they seemed like 3 miles away.
Yeah, they were. They didn't have... They couldn't get anywhere near it.
Yeah, they were talking to the organiser for like half an hour, and she seemed really bored or drunk.
She did, yeah. Bored or drunk. I don't know which one it was, but for someone who's just organised one of the world's most extravagant firework displays, she didn't look remotely interested, did she?
Just wondering, yeah.
It was quite comical, that. I really enjoyed that, yeah.
Then put the BBC one on, and they did exactly what you said. They were talking all over it.
Yeah.
The Welsh guy from...
Well, who is he?
He was on Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, right, okay, well, I don't...
He's a Blue Peter presenter.
Is he?
Yeah.
I felt a bit sorry for him. I decided ahead of time, I thought, they're going to ruin it, so don't get upset. It's New Year's Eve, right? Just be happy. Don't start the new year by shouting at the television. Start as you may, hope to go on.
Yeah.
And I actually decided not to get angry at him for talking through a fireworks display, telling everybody, wow, look at that. I mean, that's the epitome of commentary, that is, isn't it? Wow, that's amazing.
He did it a couple of times. Look at that
did.
fella.
Yes, that's right. But I thought, what's actually happened to this bloke? His agent called him up and he said, the BBC wants you to do a part of their New Year's Eve celebrations. Do you want to do it? Well, who's going to say no to that? Of course. It had a massive audience, something like 9 million, going on 10 million people watched that programme last night.
He was not bad. The Myleene Klass, she's okay as well, but that other guy, he's really annoying. Nick Knowles.
Nick Knowles, yeah, it sort of rings a bell. Who is it? Who is he, and what does he do?
Whenever people say about BBC, public service broadcasting, I think of the show this guy presents, DIY SOS, where people phone in and vote for what out of 3 choices, who should have the makeover.
DIY SOS OMG.
Yeah, exactly. Very down with the kids.
Yeah, that's right. LOL.
It's law, I put it.
Yeah, really annoying. A bloke with some sort of comedy collar, like that makes him a personality.
What I found more annoying about that was the little clips they had of people you hate. I'm not going to mention names, but Cliff Richard. Singing Old Lang Syne, recorded obviously like 3 months ago.
Oh, please, Cliff.
Go away.
Do us all a favour.
Silla, Paul O'Grady, which will lead me nicely onto the next topic,
But
actually.
Paul O'Grady's not on the BBC.
No, they were having... He filmed his show at the BBC, so they must have had clips from that.
Right.
Which leads me nicely onto my next subject.
Right.
Oh, just the Daily Mirror today.
Well, before we get on to that, let's just deal with the fireworks display. Sky News' fireworks coverage was absolutely appalling. It was as though they'd thought 10 minutes before the display was on, oh, blimey, there's a fireworks. Get in the van and we'll go down there and we'll see if we can get anywhere near it.
Well, that's the problem with Christmas, that in newsrooms, there's nobody on. Nobody works in newsrooms over Christmas. You always find the junior people. If I don't work experience over Christmas, I probably would have been on the air. Because nobody works Christmas, only the lowest of the low.
Yeah, thanks. And Sky's coverage of the fireworks itself, you couldn't see them for smoke because they had an oblique angle. The fireworks were best viewed head-on to the wheel. That's how it was designed, right? Precious few people actually got to see it in the way that it was supposed to be seen, but the BBC had a camera front and centre. Sky, on the other hand, just like last year, couldn't get anywhere near it.
Why did they got a bid for it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you'd think that there are buildings right opposite the wheel that they could just ask, can we hire out a room? How difficult could that be? But the BBC perhaps just hired the entire thing to make sure that nobody else could get good coverage. It must be some sort of competitive thing like that, because everyone in TV knows each other. They all go drinking in the same place. They all used to work for the same companies. They're all mates, and I'm sure it's massively competitive. That's one of the problems with the BBC, is that they taking our money and playing games with it. You know, ITV will have, or they'll put an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, for instance. Not that I can think of anything else at the moment, but say a movie featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger on at 9 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'll give you a real example.
And then the BBC will put on an Arnold Schwarzenegger on Saturday night at 9 o'clock just to screw him over.
Yes.
Strictly Come Dancing against Dancing on Ice.
Yes, perfect example.
That was last year.
Yeah, exactly right. It's just them playing little TV executive games with each other in order to get this one-upmanship with our money. It's just a big game. Anyway, so I'm very suspicious about why the BBC got such great pictures, and they really were fabulous, and the Sky couldn't get anywhere near the event. as though it was a bloke with the camera in his mobile phone, just holding it up in a crowd. It was terrible.
His website, up until that might still be true now, up until like 2 hours ago, had breaking news that the world welcomes in 2008. Something going on badly over there.
Yeah. But I have to say that the pictures that the BBC had were stunning. And I had half an eye on the TV and half an eye out the window, because I could see the sky, not the actual wheel itself, but from where I live you can see the sky above the wheel, which lit up as though nuclear devices were being exploded in the centre of London, which I and I'm sure everybody else half thought was actually going to happen at one point or another. But the bloke who was given the task of presenting it, okay, he ain't no genius. Who is? And so he accepted the gig. And then he must have one of these earpieces in with the producers shouting at him, do this, do that. And because there seems to be this... idea at the BBC that you can't actually just point a camera at something and then shut up and just allow the people to watch it. You have to add value in some way. You have to start shouting all over it, because otherwise, why are we there, we the BBC? We have to stamp our identity all over it in some way. So he must have had a thing in his ear, somebody shouting at him, say something. How can you prepare anything for a fireworks display? I mean, what could you possibly say? It didn't sound as though he actually wanted to say anything, but he was being prompted to say something. Go on, give us a little insert now. And so he put a microphone in someone's face and said, what do you think of that? Well, it's a blooming fireworks display. Shut up, I'm trying to watch it, you moron. So I did feel a bit sorry for him, because I'm sure it's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to watch the display just like everybody else, but he was being told by some nerd in the director's box to add something.
I'm sure everyone around him wants to see this fireworks display as well, apart from a huge light probably shining in his face, and they couldn't see anything.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
But they could wave to their mothers. So,
yeah. And once you've got a camera on you, of course, then you can't not ignore it. Even if the world is exploding before your very eyes, you just feel like you can't let yourself, let your jaw loose and just gape in amazement because you're on camera, so you can't enjoy anything that you're doing. I would have clocked him one.
I'm sure he got,
but that's just me.
Very happy.
Huh?
I'm sure he got a few grand. He's very happy.
Yeah.
He's going out with that Welsh singer, Catherine Jenkins.
Who I've also not heard of. It sounds like a Welsh match made in heaven.
Yeah, well, it's a rugby match. So did you see the Daily Mirror today?
Well, I skimmed through it. Yeah, what are you referring to?
Well, to welcome in the new year, they had a review of who died last year.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Which is always a good favourite. You always forget the people who have actually died. Quite big names.
Like?
Gareth Hunt. Okay, maybe not big name.
Gareth Hunt, he's the guy from the coffee commercial, right?
Coffee commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine you die and that's all you're remembered for. He's also in the Avengers.
That must be very upsetting as an actor. I mean, I mentioned this the other day, that the guy who did Yoda's mate in Star Wars, what's he called? Alec Guinness. How quickly we forget. Alec Guinness, great Shakespearean actor, did tremendous work on the stage. All anybody remembers him for is wearing a hood and going, "Be mindful of your thoughts, young Padawan."
They have 2% of everything made from Star Wars.
What?
Huge amount he had.
You're kidding.
No, it's Tom Hardy. He did, couple of days, and, what's his name, Marlon Brando on Superman. They got 2% of the entire gross of the film and the merchandise and all that.
Oh, right. Well, screw him then. I'm not feeling very sorry for him anymore. Huh.
Talking about people who died and they're only remembered for one thing, John Inman, he left us as well this year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, he was an act from another time. Well, no, I'll have to stop myself saying that. Just before they got to the end of that sentence, it wasn't an act from another time, because look at Graham Bloomin' Norton. He's doing John Inman.
Not literally. Bernard Manning.
Yeah.
Marceau. Mike Reed.
Marcel Marceau, yeah. He cried out for help. No one could hear.
And Ian Richardson. All the big ones.
Ian Richardson, right? The
proper actor.
Tremendous, yes, absolutely. He was in some of the best things ever. He was in Porterhouse Blue, and he was also the Prime Minister in House of Cards.
And the thing is, nobody will remember him in 5 years' time.
I'm sure they will, actually, because those two series are two of the best things that have ever been on television. I'm certain of it.
I bought the DVD box set today and showed my friends. They said, oh, I don't want to watch that about politics. Watch it. They loved it.
It's House of Cards. If you haven't seen it, boys and girls, you absolutely must get it out. Straight away, if not
sooner.
And
the DVD.
Yeah.
All the best.
Oh, these are the jokes, folks. Cheers, mate. Ta-ta.
Bye.
This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. It's 0845 6060 973. He left about 20 seconds too early. Now I've got to fill. Because I can't take another call.
How rude.
Yeah, I know. That's very unprofessional, as a matter of fact. That shows a real poor sense of timing.
You've got another 20 seconds.
He being in the business of show as well.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
Everyone.
Everything about it is appealing.
There's a woman who hasn't worked in show business very much. Everything about it is appealing. Oh, come off it. Let's review after the news.
Oh,
I've just realised Alex can't
no
read.
communication in this place. Well, normally the presenter says, "Here's the news review."
John, do
Ta-da!
that? And then it pops up.
Yeah.
Oh,
The news
Do you
review.
want to do that? Or were you midway through that giant apple?
I just threw it away. How do
Get out of the bin again.
Well, no, I thought, news review after the news. That'll give me another 5 minutes so I can enjoy my delicious, crisp, juicy apple. And then I thought, hang on. There's no news review, so I just threw it in the bin.
Oh. Oh, little face.
Do you want me to fish it out and wash it for you?
No. I don't like, it's turned brown.
Eating food from the bin.
Well, it's turned a bit brown now. And, as far as brown goes...
I hate it!
What are you doing?
It keeps on dropping
microphone.
off.
Turn it off.
The elastic band's not holding.
Right. It is actually shocking that this thing that must cost... How much do these things cost?
£1,000
They cost £1,000,
each.
yeah. They're held in by an elastic band.
Can I just leave it hanging like
And
that?
that's not us just taping it together as cheaply as we can. They come like that, don't they? Shocking.
Shall we play this news review?
Which month is it?
June.
My favourite month. This is an LBC news review.
The news reviews of the year.
That was unexpected.
That's my DJ bit.
What did you do that for?
Because there was music at the end of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what you'd do if you were on another station, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah. What, over in the other place where I play?
Rock and roll!
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that a lot, yeah. Eee. Can we please, as a nation and a world, stop talking about Paris Hilton? Oh, blimey. What has that woman done that has engendered so much publicity? Seriously, I'm begging to know the answer to this. Why are we so interested? And that's a direct question to you, Ros.
I think we're interested because she's extremely rich, very attractive.
No, I'll stop you right there. She's got a lot of money. A lot less than she thought she was going to have.
Yes.
They should cut her off without a penny. I don't think she's attractive at all. I think she's weird looking.
I think she's good. What do you think, Alex?
No comment, really. She is a bit...
Oh, his girlfriend's listening.
She's weird looking like models are weird looking. Like Kate Moss is not attractive. She's weird looking.
A bit alien-like.
Yeah, that's right. And Paris Hilton, there's just something about her that you just want to smack.
Don't
is
say
that-
that word with her.
It's that smug look.
Yeah.
I'm better than you
That's-
look all
yes.
the time. It's just plastered constantly on her face.
Sniffy superiority. Yeah.
Like she's smelling something
Exactly.
foul.
Yeah.
Well, I used to go clubbing a lot, and I didn't used to get the paparazzi coming after me.
Right. Well, that's because you're not rich or... Oh, well, I'll stop there.
Well, I might. What were you going to say?
Nothing. No, why are we so interested in this woman? She is the perfect reflection of our times. PR fluff. That's all we're interested in now. Her contemporaries at least have achieved something. Britney Spears, whatever you think about how she's conducted herself over the recent
She's done
years.
something.
Exactly. She had one of the greatest pop hits of all time. She didn't write it, right enough, but she was there when it was made. And she made that video, one of the greatest videos of all time, the one that goes ding, ding, ding. I mean, just those two notes. Ding, ding, ding. That's just fantastic. That was her, that was. Everything else, I've read, I'm not really interested in hearing it, but I've read great reviews of her most recent album. I don't really care, but at least she's done something, right? Paris Hilton, the only thing that she's done, the reason that she started to become famous was she had sex with some bloke and the video of it got onto the web.
Well, now we know what we need to do.
Apparently, that's all there is to it. Apparently, that's all that anybody's interested in. If you look at the tabloids, they will, on the one hand, report in every gruesome, drippy detail about people who you really don't know from Adam, their sex lives, while standing there with their hands on their hips, poutingly disapproving. So they'll tell us everything about it while saying that they really think it's quite awful that it's even happening. We in fact we think it's so disgusting that we've put together a special colour pull-out section with pictures. But they could have picked anybody else, and it's the papers that pick it. She hasn't thrust herself onto the world stage. by dint of anything that she's actually done, the papers have decided, en masse, this is a person who we're going to report about. And her picture is taken coming out of a nightclub or whatever it might, or inside a nightclub. If they didn't take the picture anymore, there would be no story, because the only story is that they're taking pictures of her. There is no other story.
Well, that's 90% of the newspapers anyway, every day.
Yes. I would say that that's actually true. Of the tabloid papers, the only thing they're interested in is something that they've already decided is a story, but that there isn't actually a story there. Hence, Kate Moss. My God, that woman has made a £45 million fortune from what exactly?
Pete Doherty
looking gormless.
Surprises me more. Nobody would even know who he is if it wasn't for Kate.
Very, very few. A lot of boys with lank hair and bedrooms painted black would have an idea who he is. None of the rest of us would have a clue. And the key is sex and drugs.
And Katie Price as well. Jordan. I mean, she doesn't even get them out anymore. So what exactly is she famous for? She doesn't do anything now.
Right. This is not a very... I mean, this mirror that we're holding up to society, really, in the papers on a daily basis, this isn't really doing us... It's
justice.
Not putting us in a good light, really, is it? I think that would be a good thing to change in this new year. That alone. This obsession with...
Celebrity.
Airheads.
Nonsense. I mean, the word celebrity has been robbed of all its meaning, because these aren't celebrities. These aren't celebrated people. What is it about Paris Hilton that has celebrated, or Jordan, or Kate Moss, or any of these people? It's not celebrity. It's the ability to report things about them, because they keep, doing things that would make tabloid headlines, as incidentally do we all. You could make a tabloid headline about any of our lives, couldn't you?
Except nobody knows who we are.
They're kind
Precisely.
of like, they're kind of like characters almost. Like the papers have made them their own. Then the certain
stars.
papers keep to certain celebrities as well. Like if you buy the Star or buy the Mirror or buy the Sun, you'll get a certain person featured all the time in that paper.
Right.
So it's almost like you're following a character in that particular newspaper or magazine, or whatever. So that the press and the media have made that person a celebrity, have told you and said this person is, going to be someone you're interested in because we say so, not because you actually are interested in them, just because we've made them into that.
Right. And
for you, basically, we've told you, we've made a story, we've made,
and we just seem to pliantly accept it as though it's actually true. I don't get it. Like, I'm a bit mystified by all of this. Nobody can genuinely be interested in what Paris Hilton does. And yet, we're happy to read about her on a daily basis. Can we please... I know, it's at 45. I know. Stop panicking. I can see it's 46, and I should have done it at 45. I know that. Okay, I'm being shouted at. So, and I can't think when you're sitting on the edge of your seat going, oh no,
I'm
it's
quite
46,
relaxed.
it's not 45 anymore. All right, we'll take the 45 break at 46 and I'll come back.
D is for double savings on a great range of sofas.
Say a few words. Thank you.
Let me just, I don't want to talk about that all night, but what I was going to say was that the word celebrity is now completely misused, because none of these people are actually celebrated for anything. They're just talked about, and it's all... I don't think it's so much that the papers have decided that such and such is interesting. I think it's more underhand than that. I think that it's that they have deals with PR companies. How could you possibly explain the Sun's obsession with Victoria Beckham, a woman who does nothing at all?
I think a lot of it probably is PR.
I feel absolutely sure that they have a deal with the PR company that Victoria Beckham is assigned to, which is probably this 19 management that her and David Beckham that took him to America. The same people who do the X Factor and all of that other nonsense that appears in the Sun on a daily basis, and shortly it will be Big Brother, and I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have a hand in that too.
It's kind of made the word celebrity take on a whole new meaning, hasn't it? It doesn't mean
anything anymore. It just means people that we cover in the newspaper.
Yeah, someone who doesn't really do very much but gets lots of.
Usually, it's a woman who looks like a hooker.
Yes.
As all women in the media must do these days.
So if
apparently.
you look like a hooker, you can be a celebrity.
Yes. And you can only be a celebrity as a woman if you look like a hooker. Name me one woman in the media that doesn't dress like a prostitute. Go ahead.
Maura Stewart.
Yeah, but she ain't no celebrity, is she? Moira Stewart. Is she even on TV anymore?
Probably not. No.
See? Catfoot. And meanwhile, no blokes do. You don't...
What,
blokes,
like hookers?
yeah, blokes do not go out dressed in spangly hot pants and vests that just cover their nipples,
Much
do
to
they?
your dismay.
That is very annoying, though, that women can't be on TV if they don't look like a hooker.
Yes,
or
and
they're
it's
too
not,
old, but men
and it's
are
not,
on there till they're 90.
And it's not men who are doing this, women are doing it to themselves. Men don't dress women before they go out. Women dress women.
But you won't be able to get a job in the media unless you look like that.
No, I'm not talking about getting jobs in the media, I'm talking about being a celebrity.
All right, being a celebrity then.
Being one of these people that they write about day and night. Pete Doherty looks like crap all the time. They can't stop writing about him, right?
Now, if he was a woman...
If he was a woman, he'd have his boobs out on a daily basis. Otherwise, they wouldn't be interested. And
it's not right.
And I don't think that it's not the men that are doing it to the women. It's women who are doing it to themselves. Kylie Minogue.
No, it is men
Yes,
as well.
it is. Wrong.
No.
Kylie Minogue, perfect example, is a middle-aged woman. She's getting on for 50. When was the last time you saw her in a photo shoot that she dresses for herself and is powerful enough to organise herself and make sure that all the shots are showing her in the light that she wants to be seen in? When was the last time that you saw her when she didn't look like a prostitute?
Yeah, but that's now. Would she be as famous as she is if she wore skirts down to the ground, plimsolls,
Ella Fitzgerald.
was a size 18?
Ella Fitzgerald. It's all about
No
the
makeup.
talent. It's about the talent.
No, it isn't. It's
yes,
about
it
the
is.
looks.
No, it's about the talent. Diana Ross never walked on stage looking like a hooker. Did not. It's about the talent. If you have talent...
Look at the Spice Girls.
Exactly.
Well, they don't have
my
talent.
case in point. I rest my face. But you said that as though it was proving your point, but you actually just proved mine.
No, you said it's about the talent. Well, it's not, because they don't have any.
Yeah, and they have to dress like hookers. Don't they? With the short skirts and the boobs out and the leopard prints and the high heels and all of that stuff that you would see up Sucky Hall Street in Glasgow on a Saturday night. Or wherever it happens in London. King's Cross, I suppose. It's just weird. And every time I open the newspaper, it strikes me afresh that what's going on with women today.
Well, I've got no chance of being a celebrity.
None.
Thanks.
You dress too demurely.
All right, well, I'm going to have to change this now.
Yeah. Let's all get our boobs.
You
Come on, Alex.
go first.
Come on, Alex, you start. Hey, Trixie.
Oh, can I start now? You started to introduce me. Hello.
Already she's complaining.
Absolutely, I'm a woman. I'm just thinking about Paris Hilton. I had a look at that on the internet a few months ago, and she looks as though she's actually acting up for the camera. She knew what she was doing. She just made a big fuss about it.
About what?
About her film that went out, her homemade movie that made her...
Well, it's not as though she didn't, she wasn't aware of the camera.
No, she was definitely playing up to the camera. It was all a huge publicity stunt.
It's kind of depressing that everything in the papers is all public relations.
Yes. I mean, maybe I should get my boobs enlarged to about...
I'm thinking of doing that myself.
Well, I think you'd look good with big boobs.
Yeah, me too.
And maybe, I do think a few diamond studs in your nipples, and your right nipple particularly. Leave your left one out. Or has that already been done?
Okay, then.
You asked for it. Hello. How did you get through last night then? You've been measuring your champagne glasses up, have you?
Well, I watched the coverage on TV.
Oh, Cubby complained about that. I spoke to him earlier on, and he said exactly that. Cubby from Brockley, my mate, McDowell,
right.
The one, and he said almost exactly the same as you about the fireworks display.
The BBC's coverage, visually, it was tremendous. The shots of Big Ben with the fireworks going off behind it looked so fantastic, it hardly looked real.
Mm.
But they did insist, and I wonder if because he didn't talk as much as the chap did last year, and I wonder if he just didn't want to. He realised how ridiculous it is and refused the instructions from the producer.
I think he probably had complaints, actually, Nick.
Well, they did make him talk a little bit, but he seemed unwilling to do it.
He started talking about historical things, apparently. Is that right? He was
I can't remember. I was really drunk at the time.
Oh, good gosh. He was giving the history of Big Ben when Big Ben came into the shot.
Really? I don't remember that.
No, well, I don't know. I'm just getting it from what I heard. But anyway, I didn't bother to watch it because, well, my TV is never on here. But I went straight to bed after I spoke to you.
Yeah, I think yeah, there is this obsession that you must stay up till midnight, and then you must continue to have a jolly good time afterwards, and it's just completely random. No, it's just another day.
Yeah, I did actually wake up a bit later on, about 2 o'clock in the morning, but no, it just leaves me cold. And quite frankly, the sooner it's out the way, the better. And now we can just concentrate on being nice and boring, and let's get on with real life. What
I was surprised at is how many people spent New Year's Eve watching TV. It's getting on for like 10 million people.
Well, good for them. But what worries me is that you get these people going to the parties, and then they all they have to show for it the next day are the hangovers. And you think, well, my gosh, is that what you count your New Year's in hangovers?
Yeah, hangovers and a social disease.
Yeah, and congratulations, Alex, for being alive today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You've done very well.
He has, compared to the way he was a couple of weeks ago.
Why, what was wrong with you a couple of weeks ago?
I remember you. He was rather tired, I seem to remember, weren't you? You weren't saying
what was wrong
much.
with me again?
I don't know.
No, you'd been out the night before.
Oh, after the work party.
Oh, right.
That's right. You were just very quiet. You were
a heavy night.
Conspicuous by your quietness.
Well, show people a free bar, and they just go insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I said on the air, and of course nobody was listening because they were at the party, I said, don't drink anything.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's advice you
What do they
take
do?
yourself.
They go and drink against your advice.
I know, at a works party, when you're liable to get drunk and say something you shouldn't to someone you shouldn't oughta, right?
Yes, absolutely, and then the next day it's broadcast all over London. That's the worst thing about it.
The next day you're looking for a new job.
Yep, precisely.
And you can't remember why.
No.
Trixie, I'm past the break.
Yeah, you just enjoy your break.
Cheers, my dear. 0845 6060 973.
This is LBC 90.
Can't stand him.
So this thing that I noticed on Sloane Street, so I parked up on Sloane Street, on much of that road, there is a single yellow line, which means is verboten during the week. You cannot park there. There's a few pay-in displays, I think, but mostly it's a single yellow line. Now, what does that mean?
It means you can't park there between the hours that it says next to it.
Right. Public holidays...
Unless you're disabled.
Notwithstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Did you get a ticket?
Yeah, generally.
I don't think public holidays count, do they? Because
no,
on a
we
public...
had this conversation the other day.
On a public holiday, you can park in a pay and display. You don't have to buy yourself one of those overpriced tickets to park on a road that you've already paid tax to have built, right?
Yeah.
They found another way of basically fining people who drive. I'll come to that a bit later on. But on Sloane Street, on a single yellow line, on a public holiday, you can park. Is that correct?
Yes and no.
Well, how can we find out?
We need someone from... Is it Westminster? to call him, Westminster Council.
Just don't park anywhere in Westminster. I think is the advice.
Yeah, keep the car in a low gear. Just move. You can nip to the shops, but just keep it running like at about 2-3 miles an hour.
Yeah,
so
and then
you can catch up with it later. Yeah,
just leave the window down so you can just jump
like
back
Dukes
in.
of Hazzard. Yeah. So I was going to park
stick the
up
ticket on
there.
someone else's car.
I was going to park up there, but I saw that and there were maybe 24 cars parked on yellow lines on Sloane Street. Up at the top end where the posh shops are. Every single one of those cars had a parking ticket on it. All
that's
of them.
just horrible.
The eyes of the parking clipboard Nazi must have lit up like Fergie's eyes in a cake shop.
He must have thought, there's my bonus sorted.
Yeah, because everybody parked there, assuming it's a public holiday, you can do so legally. And he got every single one of them.
On 97.3.
I really like you. Do you like me?
So people died in a collision with a bendy bus, and I'd have to say, having been driving around where bendy buses go today, I'm not remotely surprised. What manner of idiot thought it would be a great idea to take a double-decker bus, saw the top off it, and hook it onto the back?
And they take forever to actually start moving.
And when they go around corners, they need 2 lanes. Stand up, the moron who thought that would be a good idea, to put an articulated bus on London's tiny, windy, chock-a-block full streets. Who is that man?
And make, like, every bendy bus route go through Trafalgar Square. Which they're wrapped around like a snake around the roundabout every time I go there. And if you're sitting at the lights, you might as well just kiss goodbye to that cycle of the lights, because you won't move. So it's like, keeping London moving. Thanks, Ken.
I just don't. I would like him to actually answer that question. Why bendy buses? What a light went off in your mind that made you think that would be a good idea to take a double-decker bus, which has worked in this town for decades, and in its old incarnation, very much loved. So this is 2 faults. This is 2 screw-ups in the same field. Taking the route master out of action. Not insisting. Well, it's 3 screw-ups. Not insisting that a modern replacement for the route master with the same hop-on, hop-off. Never mind about the bloomin' health and safety. It's worked since. Well, how long has the route master been going? Since the 40s? Before that?
No idea. The odd pensioner under the wheels, you know.
Yeah.
Generally,
they'll
works.
just fill in the potholes. Just leave them there. By the way, London streets are falling apart. Well, falling into the earth. We're falling into the centre of the earth. We're going to lose whole cars in some of these potholes that are opening up now.
Maybe that's Ked's new idea, because he hates cars. So how can I get rid of them? I'll put car-sized holes in the road, and people will just drive into them, and they'll be gone.
Wow, it was like he was actually in the studio here with us. Amazing.
I should have thought better.
There's no to paraphrase. What's his name? The lawyer with the bald head. There really is no beginnings to your talent.
Thank you. Hey, talk about transport.
Yeah.
You know, you suggested taking a cruise up the river.
Yes.
To Canary Wharf.
Yeah.
I got one free the other day.
You got a free cruise?
Yeah. Because my good lady and I got on at the Tower of London. And we said that does this boat go to Canary Wharf, Governor? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, where do we get the tickets? And he said, oh, you get them on the boat. So we got on and went all the way up to Canary Wharf for free and got off again.
Wow.
It was
and did you have to endure his commentary?
No, it wasn't a touristy one.
Oh,
it was
right.
the fast one.
Oh, well, they're not. I don't like those as much because you have to sit inside, right? It's
no, I was on the outside. We were on the outside of the
really?
on the back.
Oh, there's a little deck on the back. That's right.
Yeah, and there was enough room to stand on there. So
yeah,
nice.
Mostly on those you have to sit inside, and it's like a really crappy fat coach. That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
No, but there's nothing better than and by the way, instead of... I should be Mayor of London. Vote for me. I'll sort this blooming town out. So I would get the Routemaster bus. Apparently they've just invented a new one that would be easier to drive, and it's got the disabled access at the front if you want, or you can hop on and off at the back. Looks just like the old one, in the same way that the new Mini looks like the old Mini. It has much of the characteristics that we love of it, but has brought it up to date. How could anybody possibly argue with that? And they've refused to buy it. Instead, they're buying articulated buses that don't fit in London. That's just absolutely a mystery to me. I don't get it.
Why is everybody against the bendy buses, though?
Are you listening to this show?
Blimey, go out. Go
but
back
people
out,
get killed.
We have an excellent podcast service, which I suggest you...
Well, I was making a cup of tea at the time.
Oh, yeah, so you were, yeah. Just to check on that.
You drive, you should know why they're rubbish.
No, I don't. I'm actually for them.
Right. Why?
I think because...
I don't mean to be offensive, but that's a moronic thing to say.
Why is it moronic? What? But you haven't given a good enough reason why they're not good for London.
They're rubbish.
Well, why? You can't just say they're
somebody
rubbish.
Somebody just died in a collision with one.
What, and nobody died being hit by a normal bus?
They take up 2 lanes when they turn a corner. They're too long. Where do I even stop? No one likes them.
They're successful in lots of different countries.
Yeah, but not this one.
Not this one. Lots of different countries.
But people die in all sorts of different circumstances.
All right, well, forget the dying part.
Okay. What, just because they're too long?
Well, you said that you like them. Go ahead.
Do.
And
why do you like them?
Because I like standing in them.
Oh, yeah.
The bit where they bend. I'm embarrassing myself now.
Yeah, I think so.
They look nice. I like them.
They look nice. Is that what you just said?
They look nice.
That's so girly.
Well, it's.
And you can fit more people on them, and you can get on at the back as well. You don't have to get on at the front.
You get on,
and then people don't move down towards the end of the bus, so you're stuck at the bus stop having to wait for the next bus. You can get on at the back and swipe your oyster. I think that's genius.
It isn't. It's ridiculous.
Just being difficult.
Yeah.
Well, if I had my way...
You are being difficult.
If we had my way, there would be no buses anyway, no taxis, no other cars on the road but me. That would work better.
Haven't we got the highest concentration of buses anywhere in Europe or something?
All of them empty, yes.
Yeah, and they are. They're always...
They're not empty, especially not the number 25.
Peak hours.
Yeah.
They're always empty.
Apart from right in the middle of town, right in the peak hours of the day, there isn't anybody in them, apart from the driver. And one old pensioner who died.
Let's just go round and round and round.
Somebody just did some research that said, as far as CO2 emissions go, for most of bus trips in London, you might as well ferry the passengers, what few there are, around in a Bentley.
Well, I wouldn't mind getting a ride in a Bentley. I'm all for that. Are you going for Mayor?
I should do. I'm the only one who makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Bentley bit, anyway.
Get off your wobbly bottom and do it.
I'm considering being offended by that. Isn't that right, Philip?
Good evening, Nick.
It's Mr. Lister.
Just before I get on to the reason I rang, Nick, as a former London Transport bus inspector, I travel when I go up to town.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I did all told 38 years. I was 15 years as a bus conductor and 23 years as a ticket inspector.
Right. Well, hold tight, please. We've got an expert on the line. Tell her about bendy buses.
Well, I think they're awful. I mean, I very rarely go on the buses now because, luckily enough, in Croydon we've got the trams.
Yeah, I've never actually seen those.
Oh, they're very good. It was sort of bendy trams, really, but you know, they all go the same way.
Right.
But they're on the track. But when I'm up in London and go on them, I mean, the fraud that goes on. I mean, seeing people getting on, you know, not showing passes and...
right.
And there doesn't seem to be as many people as when I used to check buses in central London. You know, they just...
No, that's because there's probably 10 times as many buses, and so the passengers are spread out thinly among them.
Yeah, that's right. You know, when I used to have to fight to check a bus, you know, I used to do quite a lot of checking on my own, you know, a bit of occasion with other people, but, you know, but nowadays I don't know, I don't see so many revenue inspectors in London, so I don't know whether they've cut back on them. Maybe it's the different type of fares there are now, you know.
Philip, don't you miss the ticket machine with the windy handle on the outside?
Well, the old Gibson machine.
Is that what that was?
They were called the Gibson. I used to like the Gibsons.
Oh, I'd love one of those.
Yeah, they were very good. The old ticket roll, you could go round and I could, bang off tickets, as fast as anything, No problem at all,
Yeah, you're the fastest ticket provider in the West.
When you look back on them, I enjoyed most of the time. We had odd days when hated it and...
Well, you had... everything about it appealed to me as a child. In fact, it was the first thing that I really can remember wanting to do, is being a conductor. Because you got to stand in your little area
under the stairs.
by the platform there. You had your little cubby hole with you put your book or whatever it was you had.
That's right. Yeah.
You got fresh air, this big open doorway, and the excitement of not knowing whether anyone was going to plunge to their deaths as they got off the bus too soon or got on too late.
Yeah, I mean, usually I help people just to speed things up, and the pushchairs, them, the fold-up ones, you could get about 7 or 8 on the bus.
Right. And then, as I say, you got that fantastic machine that you whiz the handle around once and the ticket would come out and you'd rip it off and proffer it, and the bells, of course, which are the best.
the bells, yeah.
Which were the best thing. A silver circle with a red dot in the middle that went ding-ding. Oh, how fantastic.
Well, I think you want to go to the London Transport Museum, Nick. They're supposed to give you a machine. You can have a go with one.
Oh, the London Transport Museum. That sounds fascinating.
Boring! Oh, you're on the wrong route. Reason I rang, Nick, I bought a book today.
Can I, before you get into this, should I take a break now? Because I'm going to get shouted at in about 60 seconds.
No,
All right, I'll come right back. Hang on. This is LBC.
Flying through big fluffy...
Well, let's get back to it.
It being Philip.
Right, Nick, I bought a book today, Nick. It was reduced from £17 down to a £5.
Right.
And it's called How to Do Just About Everything.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm going to have that, so I had a look for it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you had a quick peek, Somebody came over. This ain't a library, mate.
No. Well, it was one of them remainder bookshops, where you can get somebody's life story for £2 that originally was about 25.
Which is actually quite a shame when you think about it. Someone's life compressed into 300 pages, and they can barely give it away.
That's right. It's true. Yeah, it is. It's scary, really.
And people are going out en masse and buying Russell Brand's book.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
I don't understand it.
People don't want to watch him on TV. They don't want to hear him on the radio, but they're going out and buying a book because it's full of drugs and sex exploits.
Yeah, well, the other night, a lot of ghostwriters around.
Well, apparently he wrote it himself.
Oh, he did. Oh, well, that was the.
But it's the Sun writ large. It's just chock full of everything that you read in the Sun. It's all about sex and it's all about drugs.
Yeah. So
anyway.
I made a list of some of the things it tells you that you can learn.
How to do anything.
Well,
that sounds like a fantastic
just about everything.
Right.
For example, become a private investigator.
No.
How to become a disc jockey.
Oh, hey!
Yeah, that's difficult.
How do you become a disc jockey?
Well, can I keep the list first, and then I'll come back, because I've got otherwise I've got all the pages, how to get promoted.
Well, everyone's sitting on the edge of their seat there, yes.
How to unblock a toilet.
How to unblock a toilet, right. Call a plumber, obviously.
How to make bread pudding.
How to make bread... Oh, I tell you what, I make the most fantastic dessert in the world. I'll hear no argument about it. Chocolate bread and butter pudding.
Oh, I don't like bread and butter pudding, but chocolate sounds nice.
It is a beyond hysterical fantastic.
Oh, well, you'll have to bring a recipe book out.
And it's easy, too. Any fool could do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And people just pass out when they eat it. It is historic.
You have to put the recipe on the website, on the LBC website.
What's the recipe today, Raymondo? I'll do that straight away.
Wash a baby. How to wash a baby.
With a garden hose.
Organise a family reunion.
Organise what? Call them up?
Well, no, but I suppose it means people from the other side of the world, and Uncle Charlie coming in from New Zealand.
Oh, Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, and Auntie Mavis.
That's who Pete Doherty would be desperate to see again, of course. Uncle Charlie, yeah.
How to prevent worms in cats and dogs.
Give them worming tablets.
How to get a passport for your pet.
Do pets...
Yeah. It says, I had a look at that one, it says you have to wait it would take 7 months to do.
Why?
Well, I think you've got to have all the injections and, the cat has got to have a spit or whatever it might be, it's got to have everything. I suppose you've got to be checked by a vet. And how to wash your cat?
How to wash your cat? Very carefully, I would think, with metal gloves on.
How to watch a bird?
Cats look really funny wet, though, don't they?
Oh, yeah, so they shake, don't they? They get...
Well, they look...
like dogs,
because you're used to the cat being a certain size.
Yeah.
And you don't really imagine that it's really not as big as it looks. But when it gets wet, a poor little thing, it just looks so...
Yeah.
Pathetic and miserable and tiny.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. How to watch a bird.
With your eyeballs.
Well, it's bird. In other words, it's for bird watchers, twitchers.
Right.
How to twitch. How to get a divorce.
How to twitch.
How to get a divorce.
How to get a divorce.
Yeah. How to sneeze properly.
Oh, okay. Well, don't try and hold it in because your eyeballs pop out of your head.
And how to...
Very dangerous.
And how to evaluate your sneeze.
You have to really let a sneeze go, and it's best if you can do it outside of polite company. But just let loose and just let it all out. If it's in you, Philip, you must let it out.
Yeah, get it all. As I said, it all come out.
Yeah, take a deep breath in and then just let it out.
How to avoid a hangover.
Well, don't drink in the first place.
How to shave your legs.
First down and then up. Don't go against the grain initially. Like your face, don't go against the grain. A lot of people mistakenly advise as kids when you first taught how to shave.
Yeah.
And you start, and as you start to shave, that's the way you shave for the rest of your life. Alex has got no idea what I'm talking about. He's covered in hair from head to foot. But don't go against the grain initially. If you, in fact, don't go against the grain at all because you just rough your face up. Go with the grain, and if you insist, if you're one of these really hirsute people, then once you've shaved with the grain, then you can go against. And if you learn nothing else from this show, you'll have learnt nothing else from this show.
Certainly learned a lot on this show, don't we? Finally, how to impress your in-laws.
Tuck in your shirt and... at all times...
Be polite! Which one would you like me to go back and have a look at for you, Nick? Which of those do you want me to check on?
Did any of... How to be a DJ sort of...
How to be a DJ...
...springs out at me.
Number
have
55,
you got any,
here we are.
Hang on a minute, you've got any votes in there?
What?
They were talking amongst themselves, Philip.
Sorry, I was thinking about wet cats again. So I remember when I used to put my cat in the shower. And
why would you do that?
Because sometimes she needed a clean.
Cats don't need cleaning, they're self-cleaning.
I know.
Like an oven.
Anyway, Alex, I've got it here. It says, adopt a calm, positive attitude before and during the bath. It will help ease your cat's anxiety.
Yeah, right.
The thing is, they know that they look bad when you take them out. That's why they have a face on that just says, I know I look rubbish. Dry me, then I can be my normal size again.
You're not meant to wash cats.
They might have fleas. It says here, if your cat is infested with fleas, you'll probably want to give her a bath.
No, you give it powder, surely. Flea powder.
No.
Really?
It says, consider trimming your cat's nails beforehand to reduce the risk of getting scratched.
Oh.
Now, bring your cat into the bathroom.
Take its teeth out with a handy pair of pliers.
Close the door.
Don't do that.
And keep it closed until you're finished.
Yeah. Why did you keep washing your cat, by the way?
I only did it once. I learnt my lesson after that.
Right.
Because and Anne trying to clip her claws as well.
Well, why would you do that? Cats
you're
need
supposed
sharp
to, apparently.
claws.
The vet told us, but then I just realised that that they do it anyway by scratching stuff. Basically.
Yeah, that's why they bend themselves in half, scratching on trees. You know, they sort of they bend themselves up the wrong way by yanking on tree bark, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says give your cat
sofa.
It says give your cat free rein in the bath using minimal restraint, but gently hold on to the back of her neck if she tries to escape.
Right.
Apply lubricating eye ointment or a drop of baby or olive oil to your cat's eyes to prevent irritation from the shampoo.
The person who wrote this obviously has never owned a cat.
Yeah, but never met a cat, exactly.
Oh, well, you know, it says, be a warning. Be sure to remove all soap when rinsing, since cats will groom themselves and ingest anything left on their fur.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's
I'm not sure about this book, Philip. This sounds like a load of old rubbish.
Well, it's published by quite a well-known...
oh, well, you should have said.
Collins, you know.
How do you be a DJ?
Oh, how to be a DJ? What number's that? 55. Hang on, here we go. 57, 55. You need confidence, a pleasant, speaking voice, and excellent communication skills for the job. On the air, you may introduce music, conduct interviews, and read commercials, or even the news and weather forecast. Is that right?
Well, this isn't how to be. This
No,
is...
no, that's the sort of preface.
What it is, right.
Yeah.
How long is this article?
It's about 4 paragraphs.
4 paragraphs, right.
Make a public speaking and drama course at a school or university.
Okay, wait, wrong. No.
Oh, it says... No, it is... That's only the first bit. Consider taking relevant part-time unpaid work while still at school or college. Working as a mobile disc jockey at a friend's party will also provide useful experience.
Yeah, that's right. You got to do it for free.
Yeah.
Until you get a proper. I'm still doing it for free now.
There's a warning here about what people say about colleges, but be aware, however, that although many universities now offer degrees in broadcasting, this may not be the best way to a broadcasting career.
Correct.
For example, the majority of successful talking heads in the areas of news and current affairs are more likely to have crossed over from the background in political journalism.
Yeah, journalism. If you want to be a serious person, then yeah, political. Don't take media studies. Yeah. It's a waste of time.
And here's another interesting one. Gain experience at your college radio station.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
Offered to be the DJ or radio announcer at the station during unusual hours. And then make a tape of the show and include the experiences on your CV. Be prepared, warning, be prepared for the possibility of unusual working hours.
Warning!
If you become a DJ.
Yeah. I mean, look at me now. It's 11:30. I should be asleep right now.
Can I just say one other thing, Nick, before I go?
Go on then.
You mentioned last night about Mel Brooks. You're talking about the producers.
Talking about the producers, yes.
Did you ever see the TV series he did in 1975, When Things Were Rotten?
No, I never heard of it.
It was shown on ITV. It only lasted about 4 or 5 months in America. It was the best way to describe it. He later made a film in 1993 called Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Well, this was a TV series about Robin Hood, using the same principle.
Right.
It made fun of Robin Hood, Little John, Sheriff of Nottingham. And, that was what it was called. I don't know if you can get it on DVD or on the internet. It was called When Things Were Rotten. And it was written by Mel Brooks.
Right. Well, I'll look it up. Eventually, everything will be available on the World Wide Web.
Yeah. Anyway, Nick, so now you know everything.
Yes.
Anyway, all the best.
Thanks, Philip.
Okay.
Ta-da. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Everyone. Robin Hood.
Riding
round again. Steals from the poor, gives to the rich. Silly,
Yeah, I love that song.
Silly, Monty Python. Thurrock. Greg.
Nick.
Yes, Greg.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. I heard you talking tonight about your parking difficulties and whatever. And I was up in Kensington myself today. Went into the museums, whatever.
Right.
Down there.
It was a madhouse, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. It was the traffic was just.
Oh, the traffic was great.
Yeah.
But the museums were insane inside.
Oh yeah, there wasn't too bad. I mean the Victoria and Albert was all right.
Oh, I didn't go to the V&A. I went to the Natural History Museum.
Yeah, that was all right.
Incessant screaming children everywhere.
Don't you love them? I parked up by Kensington, by the park, and it was a single yellow line, a very, very thin one as well. And I thought, does that mean that although it's a single yellow line, it's not really a single yellow line because it's only about an inch
thin.
Wide. It's just to fool you into it. And there was a couple of other cars parked there, so I left it there, and I kept going back and thinking, well, it's okay, it's a Sunday. And of course, it wasn't a Sunday, but it felt like a Sunday.
Right.
And I found 2 traffic wardens that were having a frank exchange of views with a guy.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had a chat with them. And they're really nice guys. And I said, look, I'm parked on a single yellow line. I said, what's the deal here with the park? And he said, you can park anywhere you like, mate. He said, you can go into the parking base, you don't have to pay. He said, there's no problem at all. So I said, you sure about that? So I said, yeah. So I said, because I'm up there at Kensington, just turning right. And then he's gone, he said, well, that's Westminster Council. He said, Kensington to Chelsea's on the left. He said, and that's what we do. So I said, well, what about Westminster? He said, I don't know. So I said, well, isn't it universal? You know, don't you have one rule and that's it?
Yeah.
And he got very cagey. He said, well, at the end, he said, well, no, not really. I said, well, how are we supposed to know then? You know, if I find a traffic warden that can't give me an overview, you know.
Right.
And he just shrugged. So in the end, I just drove across Kensington and tucked into Kensington, Chelsea, and parked in there. And I parked all day, no ticket.
Well, yeah, that might just be a luck.
No, because he said we're not issuing tickets unless they're in designated bays, you know, permit holders only,
right,
stuff like that. He said, but the rest of it, he said, there's nothing at all.
Well, of course, they may tell you that, and then as soon as you've jogged off happily to wherever it is you're going, they will sniggeringly stick a ticket on you.
No.
And then what would your defence be? Well, this bloke said, oh yeah, which bloke was that then?
Yeah, but you know, I think he was being straight about the whole thing.
Okay then.
But
I don't know about you, but I'm always amazed that my car's still there when I come.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, listen, I've got the news coming up, but thanks a lot, Greg. All right. Cheers, mate. Ta-ra.
This is LB.
Happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again.
It's very hard to edit her before she says making a picture again. Here's how it sounds otherwise.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio.
Making
a radio show again.
Yeah.
Who is that? Excuse my ignorance.
It's, it's just completely gone out of my mind. It's from, I can't remember what the movie's called either. Oh, it's a classic.
I don't feel so bad now.
Gloria Swanson in, no. Gloria Swanson in...
Shall we look it up?
The movie where she was a faded actress. Completely gone nuts.
No idea.
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
You know nothing about movies.
Nope.
What about... And I can't stand him, because that was...
Oh, well, that is,
And I can't stand him.
That's the same as this.
Now, ta-te-tee-to-too.
Ta-te-tee-to-too.
Okay, was it any one of these?
That was, Singing in the Rain. It was, Sunset Boulevard.
Because I was watching one of those countdown things the other day with, like, 100 greatest movies.
Yeah, one of those things where we can't think of anything else to put on, so here's another stupid list, Joe.
It'll fill up 2
the top
hours nicely.
100.
Yeah, and they had that clip, and it said, and I can't stand him. And I,
yeah, it's
you thought you're back at work.
Yeah, it's the woman who's trying to make the transition from silent films to where she was a star in silent films to talkies, because the jazz singer had just come out. And this is one of the most famous films of all times. I don't know really why I'm telling you the story of it, because everybody must know. But she, while looking fantastic on the silent screen, as soon as she opens her mouth, she sounds like like that. So they're trying to give her some speech.
She would
guidance.
be a celebrity if she was alive today.
Yeah. Yeah, but this parking thing, I don't want to talk about this all night, but the number, by the way, it is a phone-in show. You can if you want. 0845 6060 973. As the evening wears on, I think I'm going to need all the help I can get.
Yeah, me
You're
too.
yawning.
I'm not.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I managed to hide mine, at least.
Now, you yawning, you're going to set me off now. Why is that, by the way? Why?
I tried to work that out and I can't get it.
It shouldn't happen.
Does it work behind glass? Let's try it.
It works, even if you see a still picture of someone doing it.
It's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, what is that about?
We need to call into Mystery Hour with that.
Well, I'll throw it out there now. Maybe somebody knows. 0845 6060 973. Why are yawns
I'm going to add that to my list.
addictive? Not addictive, but catching. Yes, but every car on Sloane Street, and they must have parked there thinking, this is perfectly reasonable behaviour, we can do this, it is a public holiday. And the traffic warden's eyes must have just lit up when he saw them, because every single car on that road had a parking ticket. And I don't think that can be right.
You know what will happen, though? It'll all be in the papers tomorrow, and the council will come out and say, it was a big mistake, sorry, we don't know what happened, the warden got his job wrong, we're going to be refunding everybody.
Right.
That's what happens every time.
Maybe, yes. But I'm sure that a lot of those people will just pay anyway. They won't complain, they'll just pay.
They'll make a few £100.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised if that was policy. Give people tickets that they don't actually... Because I've had a ticket that had no base in reality, and I complained about it, and they said, oh yeah, forget it. And I'm sure they must actually do that.
Was that your 1 foot curb?
Yeah.
Well, you had to pay that in the end?
No, they said forget it.
Oh.
You're not listening to a word I'm saying.
No, I thought you meant forget it, as in, no, forget it, you're going to pay it.
Forget you.
That makes sense. Forget it, mate. Pay it.
Yeah. No. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was actual policy to just give them out willy-nilly, because you're bound to get a significant percent of people who will pay fines that they don't owe. And by the way, they've just found another way of fining you.
Oh, you didn't say what that was yet.
And the other thing that occurred to me today, when you buy a parking ticket, you're going to a pay and display and you buy a parking ticket, how many times have you read that people get fined because they bought their parking ticket from the wrong meter?
Yeah.
How outrageous is that?
And you know you can also get a ticket if you display your ticket upside down.
This is just insane. Whoever is going for London Mayor, who wants to say that they'll reverse this obsession with fining us, will get my vote, and should get the votes of everybody listening to this, everybody in London, really. And I don't think that any of them have actually said anything like that yet, have they?
Well, that's because they realise it's a huge money-making scam, basically. So, they suddenly have to find new ways of raising that revenue that would go.
But I'm mystified.
I
am mystified about this. I mean, it's not as though we don't pay much tax in this country. Well, we're one of the most heavily taxed nations on earth. You know, all the rich people, they don't pay any tax, and all the poor people who are sitting at home watching Trisha all day, drinking cans of Stella, other beers are available, they don't pay any tax. It's us poor sods in the middle, us mug punters, that are we ain't got any money anymore. There are signs in the window that says, sale, 75%. No, it doesn't say that. It says up to 75% off everything in this store, and we can't go in because we ain't got no money. Mm-hmm. There was an article in the paper today that says how to be happy, and there are all sorts of things like take exercise and eat fruit and, call your dad once in a while and so on. And one of the suggestions was stop being so materialistic. Don't buy things. Go for a walk instead. Forget the sales. Forget the sales and take a walk around a park. You'll feel better. And part of me thinks, well, you know what? That's absolutely right. Obsessing about, women obsessing about shoes and bags and blokes obsessing about gadgets and cars and all that nonsense. No, it doesn't make us happy. It just makes us wishful for things that we either haven't got or can't afford.
I think it makes you happy on the short term.
Yeah, until
you lose a few games, or...
And if it's a bag, it'll make you happy until, in 6 months' time, a new round of bags come out, and no one will be seen dead with last season's bag, right? If it's a bloke, you'll be happy until the moment you get the gadget out of its box, at which point it will be obsolescent.
But you're never going to be able to escape it, though, because you've got the whole celebrity culture in the newspapers. And every day you open the newspapers and you think, wow, look at her, she looks fantastic.
Exactly.
I want to look like that.
Everything she's wearing and carrying has been given to her for free.
For free, yeah.
Yes.
I almost bought a sat-nav the other day.
Don't do it.
Holding off for ages. And I went halfway to the shop and I just turned round.
Couldn't find it?
I got lost.
Like holding my A to Z up the end. And
ended up down a dead end.
And I just thought, I don't need it.
Right.
And I turned the car around.
Did you?
and 2 hours later I found my way home. But no, I just thought to myself, I don't need to spend that money.
Well, good for you, because you'd obviously propelled yourself out of the door, and there was a little voice in the back of your head saying, "Warning, warning! You do not need this thing, but the desire to have is greater than your common sense, right?" But it actually struck you in the car. Well, that's well done. That's the first step on the path to happiness.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, until you get lost.
I haven't started on that journey yet. I still want things, particularly if there's money off. I don't care if it's 75% off. I don't care what it is. I'm going to have it. I mean, if you think about it, if you buy two, then that's the point at which you actually start to make money.
True. Yeah.
But I don't think. Yeah, I think I've got too far along the lines of consumerism to stop now. I think I wouldn't be.
I think you're either that way inclined or you're not.
And we all are.
Yep.
Unless you're a Buddhist or you've never had anything anyway, in which case you don't feel like you're missing anything.
Well, I have been thinking about that a bit more recently. Like, I'm just seeing how much guff I've got in my flat.
Yeah.
And just thinking, how much of this stuff do I actually, if I died tomorrow, then how much rubbish would my family have to just sort through and then be going, why did he have all this guff? He didn't need it. So I was thinking maybe I've got too much stuff, basically. But people have too much stuff.
You're allowed to indulge though, whilst you're alive.
But what you have, it doesn't matter if you have a certain thing, because there's always going to be a new version of that thing out that you will want more. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a perfectly good functioning video camera, but now I want one that's high definition for no particular reason. And why would you need your holiday videos in high definition? There's no earthly reason why you would want that. I mean, it's not worth another £1,000 that it would cost to go and buy it, but I want one. I actually want one really badly. I want one. I want another sat-nav as well. But
another sat-nav?
Yeah, but when you buy one, it will become obsolete.
But is there really anything wrong with going out and buying things that you want? If you can afford it, why not?
Yes, I suppose so, yeah. It's the...
Because like we were saying the other day, you do only live once.
It's the yearning for things that you can't afford, I think, that makes you unhappy. That frisson of excitement when you get out your plastic and they stick it in a bag and you carry it out dissipates almost the moment you leave the shop, right? I mean, the amount of clothes I bought, for instance, that I've only ever put on in the shop and then just hang on the racks. Suits and anything that's remotely dressy, dress shirts and so on, anything you've got to iron, never wear, ever. Look at me, I'm a disgrace. I'm wearing the tattiest old sweatshirt and T-shirt, and tracky pants with pinhole burns all over them. And this is all I ever wear. And I got whole wardrobes groaning with stuff that must have cost, well, the price of a small house in Wales.
So why do you keep buying them?
Well, because I'm stupid. Because they speak to me, and I think, oh, yeah, I'll definitely wear. I'll become one of those people. Because I had in mind when I was younger that I was going to be one of those sophisticated fellas when I got to the age of sort of mid-40s and 50s onwards. I was going to be, like one of those architect types who goes around in Japanese baggy suits and looked posh all the time, looked sophisticated. But I'm not one of those people at all. I look like a blooming tramp.
That's what you're comfortable with. You wouldn't, you're being yourself in your tramp gear. But if you were dressed up in, some, fashionable suit or whatever, you wouldn't feel comfortable.
Oh, well, I would, though, if I was the sort of person who dressed in suits all the time. And I would like to be one of those people, because how can you take me seriously the way I look right now?
So you know what would bring happiness?
I'm wearing a dressing gown and I've got sick down my front.
But that's you.
What would bring you happiness, then, if you collected all those clothes up and went and gave them to homeless people?
Don't be ridiculous. It would look...
Imagine a homeless person walking down the road in a tux.
Yeah. No. Not mine, no. I won't give them away. I can't just throw them away. It's pointless.
Just stop buying them.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But I would like to become one of those people. I would like to be one of those people. But it's the... I think part of the mentality is, and this is ingrained from childhood, you've got to save best for Sunday, or you can't wear your nice things all the time. And that's I've extrapolated that to mean that you can never wear anything that's nice. Because there's never a good reason for it. Weddings, funerals, interviews, that's it.
See, I don't understand that mentality. I think if you've bought something and you really like it, just wear it.
Yeah, I do, yes, and I know that that's true, but there's a part of me that just... And it's the part that shouts the loudest that thinks, well, you can't wear that because that's for best. I surprise myself with my own idiocy sometimes.
I do remember my mum once buying me this really nice dress when I was about 7, and I loved this dress. And she told me I could only wear it for best, and eventually I grew out of it. And I never got to wear it. Once I got to wear it, and that was just completely pointless and a waste of money. I'm still upset about this.
0845 6060 973.
The race to be Mayor of London has...
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laughs.
Let's have Banstead. Hello, Charlotte.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Charlotte.
I didn't expect to get through straight away.
I
wanted to talk about Concorde.
Oh.
You know, the plane?
Right out of left field, yeah, Concorde.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I spoke to Ian Lee about it some time ago.
Yeah.
And I've written to Richard Branson. But he's got my letter. I checked.
You checked?
I phoned
What do you mean you checked?
Well, I phoned his office.
Right.
He's got my letter. She said he scanned it. I don't know what that means. What do they mean by scanning the letter? Actually.
It means that you look at it really briefly.
Means it's in the bin.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not in the bin. No, she said he's got my letter.
Yeah.
The thing is, even Paul Ross was talking about it. Maybe we could get it back.
Get Concorde back?
No, for the Olympics. You know, to fly with the red arrows.
Right, probably not. I mean, if... They had to take it by road up to wherever it sits now. One of them is in Manchester, isn't it?
There's one at Heathrow, actually. One at Heathrow.
Is there?
Well, yeah, and one at Duxford.
Right. Didn't they have to take it by road?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
But it would cost too much to get it back up into the air, so that's not going to happen. Was that the nature of your letter?
Yeah, well, I was just saying, you know, even Paul Ross actually suggested it. I spoke to Ian Lee on the night before.
Before what?
Before Paul Ross talked about it the next evening.
Yeah.
And I heard him saying about maybe we could bring him back for the Olympics,
right.
You know, to fly with the red arrow.
Yeah, it won't happen.
It's a one-off, or even... Oh.
Why are you upset about this so much?
Well, as I said, a member of my family actually worked on Concorde years ago.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, it's such an icon, isn't it? Concorde was. Everyone used to say, look, there's Concorde going by. I just thought... Well,
they wouldn't say, here's Concorde going by.
Well,
they would have to wait until after it had gone by before they could actually be heard. Yeah, it made such a racket.
Yeah, but... so I shouldn't say that. Someone phoned up and said I shouldn't say that. Sorry. No, the thing is, the thing is, even Paul Ross mentioned it.
Well, you keep saying that. I bow to no one in my admiration for Paul Ross, but he ain't going to get Concorde back either.
What do you think Richard Branson might be able to do?
Definitely not, no. I think he's got enough troubles as it is. Throwing money away on a fly past. No, it's not going to happen, Charlotte.
Or even bring it back for displays? One?
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely not going to happen. It'll cost too much. So that's that then.
Oh, I'm really disappointed.
Oh, well, that's life, isn't it? It's just a string of disappointments.
Well, we should never say never.
Well, that's right.
We should never say never.
Yeah, that's what James Bond says, yeah.
I mean, actually, who does own Concorde? Is it British Airways? Or,
yeah, I think it's British Airways and Air France, isn't it?
Right.
And by extension, us. We've paid for it.
Yeah. Sorry, someone rang up after I spoke to you the other night, so I should say that or something.
Say what?
Sorry. No, what I said.
What?
I say something strange when I talk to you. They complained about my voice saying something, I don't know.
I complained about your voice.
No,
That's nothing you can do about that. Just never suck helium, because only dogs will be able to hear you.
Okay.
But the best of luck with your little campaign. All right, Charlotte.
Okay.
I'd be happy to see it up there myself, but I seriously doubt it. Here is one in Chelsea. Penelope.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm glad you went to the museums, because I used to go there as a kid. I used to bunk off school and go, and learnt more there than I did at school.
Really?
Love museums.
The Natural History Museum, I think, is the best building in London. I mean, with the possible exception of the Houses of Parliament, it's fantastic inside and out.
It's stunningly beautiful.
It is.
Really pretty, and not enough people know about it. It's underrated.
Well, I disagree. Far too many people know about it. It's always cram-packed.
You went there today.
Yes, I suppose so.
Why did you choose today?
Well, because I wanted to take absolute maximum advantage of the freedom to drive around town today.
You make your own luck, mate.
The freedom to park wherever you like, the freedom to drive around without getting charged, and virtually empty streets.
I think you've got a thing about pain, personally. But anyway...
Doesn't everyone?
No, I don't think so. I think some do and some don't. I wanted to talk to you about people decorating things all the time.
Okay.
And sales and people scrambling to keep up with whoever's.
Yeah.
It's not Jones anymore, isn't it? I think that's probably exclusively Welsh.
Yeah, it's not the Joneses now, it's the I don't know, what the Russian for Joneses is.
Well, yeah, whatever, yeah, or Polish. Or whatever. That's part of it. I think it's an identity crisis.
What, I shop, therefore I am?
Yeah, I think what it is like loads of things are available really, really cheap. People don't understand that we're buying a whole bunch of things from really, really poor people in other countries.
Yeah.
And it used to be, I don't know, when we were kids here in England, you'd have the place decorated once in a lifetime.
Well, that's right. Yeah, and parents they'll buy a knick-knack and they'll put it in a place where it will remain forever.
You had the same tea set. You had the same cutlery. You had everything was the same. You know,
My parents are still using the same toast rack, sugar bowl, everything that I can remember when I was a kid, and it all works perfectly well.
Didn't you walk into someone's place and it had its own character? It was entirely different. As it was exciting going to see new people because you wondered what the house was like.
Well, no, I don't remember that.
You bloody know. All you've got to do is look in IKEA catalogue.
Yeah, everything will be magnolia on the walls and minimal-like furniture, yeah.
That's it. You know, horrible. And other people, these people will come into my place. I've got carpets and paintings and things and weird lights. And I kind of go, you know, this poor woman needs help. Well, I do, kind of.
Well, I think it's the tyranny of those do-it-up programs on television, because they're all telling people who have no taste and style.
And do they care about the environment? I don't think so.
No, that's right.
I think that all of the sort of DIY places and shopping places ought to be shut down because they are the most unenvironmentally friendly places there are, and they keep this greed thing going.
Well, yes. I mean, as far as saving the planet goes, making do with what you've got, be it the decor on your house or the car that's sitting on your driveway, is by far the most environmentally beneficial thing to do. I mean, running an old car far more a help to the planet than buying a new, more economical one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're driving an old Bentley, for instance, you're probably doing the planet more good than you would if you ditched the Bentley and bought a car that puts out less CO2.
And don't have a go at Steve Allen there. We know what he drives.
What does he drive?
Never you mind. Listen to him in the mornings. He's really fun.
I can't get up that early. Look at me. I'm working past midnight.
Are you not podcasting yet? What's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah. I've got to catch up. I haven't got an iPod.
I got one about 3 years ago and I haven't used it yet, see?
Oh, right.
That's what I had to phone in for, going, look, I'm accumulating things I don't want. Even I'm green and I'm not being green. And I refuse to decorate because I'm looking at everybody DIYing, apart from them driving neighbours mental. Bang, 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 let me look at your floor, it's his floor. But, it's really, really sick.
Well, the DIY thing is, the problem is that everyone's going after what they're telling you to do on television, and most of those programs on television are in order for people to sell their house. And to do that, to appeal to the largest number of people...
Everyone's running around there, why can't they keep still?
to appeal to the largest number of people, it has to be as bland as possible. Look at the best-selling of anything in this country. It's always the most bland of its type. It's true. Penelope, I'm past a break. But thanks a lot. All right. 0845 6060 973.
This is...
Darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon.
Wouldn't that be great? Not to work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon. How fantastic. Shall I take this call now? We haven't really got very much time. Shepperton. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Nick.
Michael.
Any chance of hearing Gloria Swanson's most famous line? I am big, it's the pictures that got small.
I haven't got that one, I'm afraid.
You haven't? Okay, just moving on quickly to this, why yawning is infectious.
Yeah.
Doc told me some time ago it's the social behaviour of a group of animals. It's a signal to the group for something, and we've inherited the mechanism.
But why would yawning be a signal to the group?
I don't know what the for something is. It's a signal to the whole group.
But it's odd that yawning is the only thing that we do that is catching. Coughing doesn't catch, although I guess you could make an argument that it does. Any time that there is a break in a classical concert, for instance, there seems to be a...
But you do see lions and monkeys yawn a lot.
Yeah.
And, that was like the official line on it, that we've inherited the mechanism from way back.
It's odd that, it's like I said, even if you just see a still picture of somebody mid-yawn, you start to yawn.
I know.
Well, maybe because someone can shed more light on this. What is that? And why not picking your nose, for instance? Why doesn't that catch? I suppose all in, we got off lightly, eh?
Yeah, you're winding me up with all sorts of queries now, but that was definitely what the doctor told me about 2 years ago.
Right, well, you got to...
It's to do with the social behaviour from animals.
Well, you got to accept what the good doctor says.
Okay then, Nick.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Cheers.
0845 6060 973. This is LBC. We're coming up to the midnight hour, where it's practically you-know-when. He said, desperately searching for it. Ah, there it is. Haven't played this in a little while. So we'll go away for the new news, some of which will be good. I can, I was going to say I can guarantee it, but that's not true at all. And then we'll be right back, yes?
It's 12 o'clock.
I'm listening, dear. You can talk to me.
Well, the nice man in the news was just talking about the weather there, and apparently it's about to get spectacular. Forecasters are predicting that temperatures will drop well below freezing this week after the spell of mild weather over the holiday period comes to an abrupt end. Oh no. Snow and icy Siberian winds are forecast to hit Britain tomorrow. Causing chaos. Of course.
Travel chaos.
Yeah. And congestion on the roads as millions return to work. Yeah, the roads that were virtually free, completely uncontaminated by cars, are going to be totally stuffed again tomorrow. The horror returns. No, it's not tomorrow, is it? It's today now. Brian, the head of forecasting at the Met Office, said, after a mild Christmas and New Year, we will notice a real change to some cold and wintry weather. We will need to be prepared and wrap up as well as we head back to work. The weather is expected to start to turn colder today, with temperatures plunging from 10 Celsius. It's been particularly mild, don't you think? Mm-hmm. To 4 Celsius overnight, so that's around a boot now, I guess. Any part of Britain could potentially wake up to snow on Thursday morning. Can you believe it? Piers Corbyn, a long-range weather forecaster from Weather Action, predicted that the temperatures could fall as low as, you ready, minus 17 Celsius.
What?
That's what he said.
Minus 17.
Minus 17 Celsius.
Is that because they've had that ice storm in the States? So we're getting the kind of... Because we always get the tail end of their weather systems, don't we? It kind of sweeps across the Atlantic and we get like a kind of watered-down version of what they've had a few weeks later.
Is that true?
Yeah, quite often.
This is going to be by mid-January with heavy snow in the south. This could make January the coldest since 1987. This week's brief freeze, however, is likely to have disappeared by the weekend, as milder and wet and windy weather arrives from the west. So if you can just hold out, get some baked beans and wrap up warm and shiver in the squalor of your own lounge, it'll just be a couple of days and it'll be all right to go out again. OK. Ashford. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Nick.
Margaret.
I need a voice.
You need a voice?
I need a voice to talk to. I don't know, I suppose I've got flu.
Got a cold in your doze?
I've got it everywhere.
Oh.
A raging cough at the back of my chest. I've got everything, you know, legs like jelly.
Yeah.
Quite a good assault, really, but I just wanted to hear a human voice tonight.
Oh.
I've been like it 4 days now.
What have you been taking?
I got some antibiotics. I had the night doctor out about 4 days ago. I phoned him at 2:15. He came at 11 o'clock at night, but he was very nice.
I'm amazed that you can get a doctor to come out.
He did. He came out. They've got a special... it's very good round here. They've got a special a section now that deals with it, and they do come out. They can't say a time, but they do turn up.
For a cold?
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was a cold. I thought it was something else. All the symptoms I had, I thought I was having pneumonia again, quite truthfully.
Right.
And that's why he came out. But
antibiotics? Are you taking,
amyloxin or something? Amoxicillin.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they'll start working soon.
Right. I don't think there's anything you can take for a cold or the flu, is there? It just has to sort itself out.
Not much.
The only thing you can do is to take stuff that will make you feel better.
Yeah.
Like, you know...
The only thing that makes me feel better is a nice brandy, but...
Well, yeah, I was going to say... I didn't want to say it, but you've gone ahead and done it anyway.
Yeah, I would, but it made me icky poo the other night, so I left it alone now.
The booze made you icky poo?
Yes. And it's very upsetting to think it could do that to me.
Right.
You know, but it's just... I've talked to you now. I was going to say, if you just ask me questions that require a yes and a no, I could manage that. Because the cough cuts in and that knocks out everything.
Right, well, did you, oh, blimey, help me out here, Alex. Ask a question that requires a yes or a no answer.
Have you been sleeping?
Alex is stumped. Hey, Margaret.
Yeah?
Have you been sleeping?
Yes, at all odd times when I didn't want to, when there was something perhaps on television.
That's not a yes or no answer.
Well, I'm trying to do my best.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
Right.
Well,
I'm trying to do my best, and I probably am depressing everybody else.
Yep. Well, all I could think of was icky poo.
Yeah.
Icky poo, yeah. You're not Kenny Everett's mum, are you?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
No. No, I'm normally pretty good, because I do live alone, I cope with everything. But this has been really a long, long job with no end in sight.
Well, does it feel like you... Right, so it doesn't feel as though you've got over the hump yet?
I might have breached it, but I haven't got quite over it yet.
Okay, you're not on the easy slope down the other side.
Oh, no, nothing like.
So, a hot toddy, they always say that works.
What's a hot toddy?
Get a bit of whiskey.
Oh, then again, it's alcohol, and it made me sick the
Icky
other
poo,
night.
yeah, I heard.
And I don't really want to try it again.
Well, how much did you have?
Not a lot. There was a little drop left in the bottom of a glass, and I wouldn't throw it away.
A glass of what?
In the bottom of a tiny glass.
No, but what was it?
Brandy.
Brandy?
I only drink brandy.
Right.
And I brought it up to bed with me, I thought, rather than waste it. And I drank it, and then was punished. Got up and that changed the bed in my state.
Oh, dear.
Yes,
a little too much information, Margaret.
Oh, sorry.
Well, don't do that again, then.
I beg your pardon.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a professional doctor.
No, it's just a fact of wanting to hear a voice. Anything about anything. Tell me about anything.
Well, you don't have to just hear the voice through the phone. You can listen to me on the radio, Margaret, and I'll do my very best to keep talking to
I
one.
wanted somebody I could talk to.
Right, okay.
But I'll let you go now, Nick.
All right, cheers, my dear. I hope you feel better soon. All right.
Thank you very much.
Ta-da.
Bye.
You were a lot of help there, Alex.
Icky poo.
What's icky poo?
Well, I just thought it was bad, but apparently it was much more than that.
Much
and I
worse.
think that the clue is in the phrase.
Oh. TMI.
South End. Hello, Pete.
Hello, mate. How are you?
All right, thanks.
Yeah, there's a question I was talking Nick, just to Nick just now. Is asking why do people yawn?
Why do people yawn? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got the answer to that. Yeah, it goes back to caveman days. The first person to wake up yawned, and that's what woke up the rest of them. I sit on TV. Yeah.
Right. The first person that woke up yawned.
Yeah. So everybody else heard the yawn, and they sort of yawned and then moved.
Right. Okay, I'll note that down. Thanks a lot, Pete.
All right.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra. I don't think we've got any further on this, really, have we? They found a new way of taxing people in cars. Guess what it is? I bet if we sat here from now until the end of the earth, you'd never be able to guess it.
Fining you if you eat in your car whilst you're driving.
No, that's all old news.
Oh.
Eating and smoking, that's out. Talking to people on the phone.
Fining you.
Talking to people in the car should be illegal as well, as should fiddling with the radio, scratching yourself, and doing your makeup in your mirror.
Fining you if you don't have enough air in your tyres.
No.
Fining you if you drive a blue car.
No, but I'm sure that they'll come up with something like that. No, they're going to fine you if your car's too long. This will affect you, Alex.
Oh, no.
Alex drives a car that's so long, it's actually articulated.
It's actually a bendy bus in disguise.
Drivers of longer cars are actually a bendy bus, a private bendy bus. You could really do something with that. Don't you think? You rip all the seats out.
Yeah.
Put curtains on the windows. You could put a lounge there.
Yeah,
you could charge people to stay there the night.
You could put a TV at one end and your sofa at the other, but you wouldn't be able to see it when you went around corners. Your view would be temporarily obscured.
You're sitting at one end and
Yeah.
the TV was at the other.
You'd miss important parts.
You're like a road-going narrowboat.
That would be an excellent idea, don't you think? You could put a bowling alley in it. Everything. You could put a little one-lane swimming pool.
Someone should start this up.
Drivers of longer cars are to face higher parking charges under a new scheme that emerged yesterday. Owners of many popular family vehicles will be forced to pay almost twice as much under the system to be introduced next month by Norwich City Council. And if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Other local authorities will monitor the scheme closely. I'd bet they will. If it's found to be a success, it will be brought in across the country. Under the scheme, people with cars longer than 14.5 foot, such as a Vauxhall Vectra. What's that?
That's a normal-sized family car.
Is it?
Yeah.
And a Nissan Primera. What's that?
Also, normal.
Yeah.
That's not big. Primate? Oh, this is ridiculous.
They will find that their annual parking fee will double. Owners of medium-sized cars, such as a Vauxhall Astra... What's that?
They're quite small, really. That's like a hatchback.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a medium-sized car now.
Hmm.
Because hatchback used to be the smallest of small cars.
Well, I think... maybe the more recent one is a bit bigger.
Because isn't it the case that cars are getting bigger?
Mm-hmm.
But everything is getting bigger, apart from electronic goods, which are getting smaller. Yeah. I suppose it's because we're getting bigger. Four adults could not fit into an old Mini now, because we are all so gigantically fat. Isn't that right? It's true.
I know, I saw a Morris Minor on my way, driving back from Dorset today, and the two people sitting in it looked ridiculous, because the car was so small.
They had to open all the windows.
Yeah, it was like two hamsters stuffed into like a miniature car or something.
It does come as a surprise when you see an old Mini, quite how microscopic it is.
Mm-hmm.
But even they are bigger than the old Fiat. Was it called a Fiat 500?
Yeah.
And they are just so comically small. It's like laugh out loud funny when you see them. How an adult can squeeze into one is a mystery. Owners of medium-sized cars from such as the Vauxhall Astra will have to pay a third as much again, And only cars less than 12 foot long, such as a Vauxhall Corsa or a Mini, will be frozen at the ordinary price. The council claims the scheme will help to reduce carbon emissions and release more parking space. What rubbish. That's got nothing to do with it. It's just another money-grabbing scheme. Evil, evil, evil. They claim that the longer cars do not necessarily cause more pollution. The proposals... No, hang on a minute. Critics say that longer cars don't necessarily cause more pollution. The proposals don't take into account that owners of green cars, such as the Toyota Prius, will have to pay extra because they're more than 14.5 foot long. What kind of a silly-ass thing is that?
Well, the best way to get around this is for us all to go out and either buy a Fiat Cinquecento or a smart car. Then they won't be able to make any money from it. Apart from, obviously, Fiat and...
Well, no offence to the manufacturers of those two excellent vehicles, but I don't want to be seen dead in one of them. Neither do I want to be seen dead in one of those battery-powered cars, one of which is the most hideous vehicle I have ever seen in my life.
But then at least the councils won't be taking our money.
Is it the Gee Whiz, that thing that looks like it's been designed by Stevie Wonder? It is hideous.
It looks like the Little Tykes car for
kids.
kids.
It looks like an alien has designed it, or a committee has designed it from written instructions, never having seen a car before. Awful looking thing. And there's absolutely no reason for it. Just because it's got a battery in the back, it could look fantastic. It's just all about body panelling, isn't it? Why cars do look so boring is a mystery to me. I mean, take one of the most ravishing cars on the road, for instance, an Aston Martin DB9. It only looks like that because they've beaten the metal into that shape. Any car could look like that.
Yeah, but then it will take more work and we'd all have to pay a lot more money.
No, it wouldn't. They just stamp it out. They stamp them out that shape.
Yeah, but it takes more time.
Again, no, it doesn't. Here's a big machine, they put a flat piece of metal in it, and it goes ka-chunk. And then it stamps out in that shape. And then they nail it together, literally, with nails. That's what I don't really understand about car design. Why do they all look so crappy, and only a few look gorgeous, when they could all look fantastic? It's just a matter of what shape you beat the metal into.
Yeah, and it's not like, an Aston Martin is only appealing to, a very narrow clientele. I mean, that's all that can afford it.
Yeah.
And you are paying for something that has been, designed by, someone who is a top designer.
Yes.
It's a beautiful piece of engineering and design. But at the same time, if you're an average person and say Ford or Vauxhall made a car that looked like an Aston Martin, or they made one that looked like a Mondeo, I think, your average person would go, ooh, yeah, I think I'll go for the one that looks, gorgeous.
Exactly.
I don't think I would. Well, if it was a choice between a Mondeo, and I quite like the Mercedes A-Class.
Yeah, you're weird.
Well, they're really nice.
It's a biscuit tin with wheels stapled onto it.
No, I think that, and they drive amazingly.
No, they don't. I've driven one and it's awful.
You speed off in them. Obviously not that I speed.
I had a courtesy car of one of those when I took my old tank in, and I took it back and I said, "This car's rubbish." I said, "What are they doing?" It was awful. I was so glad to get back in my 12-year-old Panzer wagon. It was made out of solid steel. I just thought, what are they doing? But I'm a snob, so.
Well, no, you're a man who knows about cars. Roz, on the other hand, knows nothing. The Mercedes A-Class is a great-looking car. That is rubbish. It's a box.
Well,
it's completely square. It was designed with a set square.
I like the space inside of it. It's very spacious and it's quite a high ride.
I know
it goes quite fast.
I know it was a bad thing because when I had it, and I as a courtesy car, I went to a garage and all people over 60 were eyeing it up, like with that. Ooh, that looks like a nice car, and I just thought,
yeah,
nope,
wrong. When you've still got some vestige of life in you, then you have to put off the day at which you choose something like that.
Okay, it's either that or a Mercedes SLK. Slight difference, I know.
SLK. That's the type. That's the
sports.
The girls' sports car. Yeah.
Yeah.
No offence, but hairdressers only may apply.
Footballers' girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly. A wag.
I could be one of those.
No, you couldn't.
No problem.
No, not the way you're dressed.
Because I don't look like a celebrity.
You don't look like a prostitute.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
0845 6060 973.
New 2008 on LBC 90.
You trying to tell me that this is your act?
Hendon. Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Nick. Good evening. Happy New Year to you.
And to you too.
Just before we talk to you about your subject of pets, that you don't like wearing good clothes during the day, which I wholly endorse you. I just want to put that poor girl out of her misery. The one at the Concorde at Heathrow is a shell, which every so often they have to fill in the rust holes on the sides so it shouldn't make the runway look appalling, and the same as in Manchester. The only one where they've got the interior but without any engines to it is the one that's based on the SS boat by the New York Harbour.
They've got a Concorde on a boat?
Yeah, they got it perched. They took it up the barge, and if you come down the east side, you'll see it. It's perched on top of another rusty.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
How bizarre. A Concorde on the river?
On the river, yeah.
That's weird. What on earth would possess them to do that?
Well, I think they actually make it into a tourist attraction.
Right.
But whereas the one Heathrow, if you remember, there was about a couple of years ago, it was rusting, and they just fill in, put a bit of poly filler in, but there's nothing. It's literally, they auctioned off everything inside it.
Where is, it's a long time since I've been to Heathrow. Where is, I try to avoid it.
Yeah. Well,
anywhere else is better. Where is it?
It was immediately on the corner of what they call 27R, and I really just, I don't know anything about the runways, but that it was. But then they moved it further back. Probably sometime they must have tarmacked something or
Right. So it's like a Christmas bauble that's just there for show.
It is a mothball that's looking there for show. That's what it is. And then same as in Manchester. I don't know what the one in Barbados looks like, but the one in New York is a tourist attraction.
Huh.
So, but tell her there's no engines in it and it ain't going nowhere.
No, there's no chance of those things ever flying again. Which I think is a bit of a shame, because it's the only method of transport in which we've gone backwards. We're actually flying slower now.
I always say I used to do it from Hendon to Manhattan in 5 hours and 15 minutes on a Sunday morning. But there is something being developed just out of interest called the STT-5. And again, it's what I've read. Because, you know, private planes, the small ones can go up to about high 51,000 feet, which is not far off what Concorde did. Provided they can get the speed into it, they are making progress in development station. We're probably 6-7 years away. But you are talking that they are seriously looking to possibly take advance orders on it. Well, the key is the thing that will surely eventually happen when they go up high enough to get out of the atmosphere, and then they could travel from here to Australia in about half an hour, right? Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Seriously speaking, it's got to go over about 55,000 feet. At the moment, G5 or something like that goes up to 51,000. So they do go pretty quick, but they need something to go really, really quick. Yeah. But coming back to your thing that I caught on, you talking about clothes. I am famous in my community. I wear jeans every day. I come home, put them in the washing, and start again. I cannot stand. Some mornings you wake up in the madness and say, "I'm going to look posh today," and you end up putting on cufflinks. Now, if you try working with cufflinks, rubbing against the tables is horrible. Well, I stall at putting them in because you need 3 hands to put cufflinks in. Absolutely. And I just want to make one real good recommendation, because if you really, people say, "Oh, well, we don't like your jeans," what really is comfortable, there's a massive shop at the corner of Baker Street and Oxford Street, and they sell trousers there now for £29, which you can put in a washing machine, and they actually feel very, very light like jeans, and they actually feel very, very good. So for £29, you don't need to. I mean, I've got plenty of nice clothes. It's good to say, but that I keep for the Shabbat and the weekend. I'm going to go to synagogue, but that's it. Otherwise, every single day, same jeans, day in, day out. I don't give a toss. And you know something? I've been to some really fancy meetings, and they're not really interested in the clothes I'm wearing. They're only interested in the meeting. Well, it very much depends on what kind of business you're in. I mean, if you're in the financial world, then I'm sure that people do like to
do business with people who are dressed in a suit and tie because it makes them feel as though their money is in a safer place than some guy who just show up in a jeans and t-shirt.
I'm not looking to put money with me. I'm looking to set up a deal with them. But it's how you come over in the personality. I mean, we're not talking about smelly people. We're talking about you just don't happen to enjoy dressing up. Well, so what? Why do you have to dress up in a suit and a jacket?
I know. But when I was younger, I did envisage myself at this age being one of those people that dressed, not dressed sharply, but just was a little smarter. Basically, I'm dressed like a teenager. Still, T-shirt, sweatshirt, track pants.
I am 48 years old, and I go around every morning in jeans. My kids are dead embarrassing, and I don't give a toss.
I think the older you get, the less you care. That's certainly true. But I come out in how I slob around the flat.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm basically wearing an adult romper suit all the time. However, there is nothing more comfortable, right?
Absolutely. I've got old jackets which I can throw away a suit and it's no longer... The jacket I keep because I need to wear a jacket, put my crap in the pockets. But I keep the jacket. But so what? That's what the jacket's for. The jacket serves a purpose for carrying. Your trousers, you want to feel comfortable that you're in.
Yeah, well, when you sit down, you don't want to have anything...
Yeah, but the good trousers, and if you spill a cup of coffee over a pair of trousers, it feels horrible. You spill a bit of coffee on jeans, it doesn't look so bad. You don't feel bad that it's poured over it.
I tell you what, one of the greatest step forwards in the history of humankind is the addition of elastic in the fabric of trousers.
Yeah.
That stretchy material that covers all eventualities.
Yeah, no, I do. I want you to know something. Everything that I believe in you right now, do. Don't care. Don't worry what people say about you. They like your character, not what the clothes you're wearing.
Yeah, I think after the point at which you realise that you're never going to get sex again for the rest of your life, then you don't care how you look when you leave the house, right?
What's sex?
Thanks a lot, Anthony.
Take it.
Cheers, mate. Ta-ra. This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. It's 0845 6060 973. I mean, look at the three of us. We are a disgrace. We should be ashamed of yourself.
Speak for yourself. I'm the best dressed out of the lot of us.
Stand up. Give us a twirl.
Not too bad.
Oh, that's absolutely rubbish.
Got a nice jacket.
No, I'm dressed all right.
Got a nice jacket.
Well, show me the jacket.
There.
You look like a bin man.
This is my Sunday best.
Is it?
On New Year's... Look. The university professor.
Oh, no, there's too many colours going on there.
What? Blue and grey?
Heads up, 5 seconds.
Okay.
No, you do. You look like you complain that I've put the wrong kind of rubbish out.
This is LB.
He knows everything.
Chelsea. Hello, Sue.
Hello there, Nick.
Sue.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
Right. I'm well. I'm raring to go.
Go.
Now, I hesitate to take you on.
But?
Because you've got the air of someone who tends to win arguments, right? However, here goes. I'm willing to bet that more airtime is given to cars and related problems, the congestion charge in particular. Now, you're talking about the design of cars. In my view, that's for train spotters. I'm sorry. Because I thought that the point of them was to get from point A to point B.
Spoken like a true woman, Sue.
And what do you mean by that? Here we go.
Well, because women treat cars in a sensible way.
Yes.
They for exactly that reason. And this is why Ros said that she liked the Mercedes A-Class, because that's perfectly reasonable and a car that's good for its purpose and gets you without fuss from A to B. Yeah.
Right.
But that's not why men are attracted to cars.
No. I don't like cars at all.
Well,
whatever their design.
That's an outrageous thing to say.
No, you know it's not outrageous. You know that that's also sensible, don't you?
What do you mean by you don't like them?
I like cars. They and roads and everything else take up all the space in London in particular.
Well, it's easy for you in poshest Chelsea.
No.
You can only walk. You only have to walk to the end of your street to get whatever it is that you need, right? Some people need a car.
You see, when does a luxury become a need? At what point?
Well, if it's...
I don't have a car.
If it's a need, it's not a luxury.
What do you use your car for?
Getting to work.
Right.
Going to the supermarket and carrying back a ton of shopping.
Yeah, I do that.
You do what?
I go to the supermarket and carry back a ton of shopping.
What, in your little hands?
No, on my shoulders, on my back, and various other... I balance it all out.
Where are you doing your shopping? Africa? On your shoulders and on your back?
Yes, exactly.
Right, you don't carry it around in a basket on your head, do you?
Well, no, but that's not a bad idea, because that's a space I hadn't thought about.
But the thing is, Sue, if you carry it back from the shops, then you must go shopping every day.
No,
virtually.
I don't, and this is one of my problems. I'm lugging this, I feel like a pack horse, actually. But I'll tell you something else. I'm fairly trim now, and I wasn't always. I think the reason is because I carry my shopping bag, I go for walks, etc., etc., and I walk wherever I need to walk, except if it's a long way. So I don't.
And then what?
And what do you mean, and then what? Well, and then what? I'm not contributing to the foul pollution.
No. I mean, if you said you walk everywhere unless it's a long way, and then what? If it's a long way...
Then I get a bus. I don't go on trains anymore. I get a bus.
Right, which is more polluting than a car, takes up more space, and probably has fewer people in it.
Yes. Well, that argument doesn't hold as far as I'm concerned. It does not hold. When it's full up, it gets far more people in it, and
when
it's taken up. Well, look, if people got out of their cars, then the bus would be full up, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so that's an excellent reason not to get out of your car, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get a seat, Sue.
Give your car away, or destroy it. Just, otherwise it's going to destroy me. I can't breathe. I risk life and limb trying to get across the road. This habit of yours is destroying me.
Well, I'll endeavour not to feel too upset about that, Sue. My convenience beats your concern.
No, it's my health I'm worried about, not my concern.
Right.
It's my health, actually, and the health of other people, children in particular. Nick, give me
never mind about all that.
Nick, give me a good argument as to why you should hang on to that monster.
Okay, I will. And I'll give you that argument in a very short space of time. I'll praise it into 3 words.
Right. Come on.
In fact, 4 words.
Go on.
Will you give me 4 words?
Give you 4 words?
Will you allow me 4 words?
Well, it depends what they are, doesn't it?
Right. The reason is because I want one.
Right.
That's it.
Now, does what you want always take precedence over
Absolutely.
Perhaps, the damage you might be doing? So
Absolutely.
What you want is the deciding factor.
Yeah.
A lone little voice there. It is, always.
Yes, always, yes.
So if I want something...
I'm sorry if this sounds selfish, darling, but it's me.
Well, I'm afraid it does. And it is. Not only sounds it is. I mean, you can't... in what you do, you have to consider, don't you, the effect on other people?
No.
Well, you don't.
Definitely not, no.
You see, I can't understand that. I cannot understand it, Nick. I'm not having... Well, I am having a go at you, aren't I?
Now, let me explain... I do conduct my life with great concern and courtesy to the feelings of others, but driving a car, I think is a perfectly reasonable thing to do, as do, by the way, everybody who drives a car.
Yes,
the reason that there are so many cars on the roads in London is because we don't want...
selfish?
Well, no, we don't want to travel on public transport. No. We've tried that, and it's rubbish.
Yes, well... it's not good enough for you, is it? You deserve better.
Well, I tell you what, Sue, we're about to have, so they've been telling us over and over and over again, a worldwide pandemic. People are going to be dropping in their millions all over the world.
Yes.
And the reason
from pollution.
in the West, from flu. bird flu or whatever it might be. We're way overdue a global pandemic.
Okay.
And the best way in which a disease will be passed on is by cramming everybody together in tubes and buses. That's how it will get passed on.
Do you know
public
something?
transport.
Yes, that isn't high on my list of worries. Of course, it is a concern.
Millions of people dying.
Well, if you see, my view is that if you die, does it really matter what you die of? I really, I don't care if I get bird flu or I'm run over, and the chance of me being run over are higher than my chance of getting bird flu, I reckon.
Well, now they are, but if everybody's dropping dead with bird flu, then the situation will be reversed. But anyway, Sue, there's absolutely nothing you can say to everybody in this town who owns a car to get them out of it. We've tried the alternative, and we don't like it.
I realise I'm a lone voice, but you know something, Nick? In the past, the lone voices, they're the ones you remember, and they're the ones that eventually, years after, were the ones that proved to be right.
Well, often that is the case. Often it's the case that they were the ones who have been proved to be crazy.
Yes, but you know, Nick, don't you, that your habit, your bad habit, because you want to do it, isn't a good enough argument. I'm sorry, it isn't. Well,
it's worked for me ever since I was 5, Sue. I'll scream and scream and scream till I'm sick.
It's not working for me, that argument.
Well, that's a matter for you. Unfortunately, I don't care.
Well, no.
But anyway, Sue, it's been a pleasure jousting with you.
But yes, all right. But I'm not sure that you have one.
I have one what?
The argument.
Oh. Well, I didn't say that I had.
I have got the moral high ground, you see, so I'm not sure that you've won. You've won the point.
Right, how did you get up there, by the way? Take a bus?
Oh, I've always been here. It's a long way down.
All right, send us a postcard, eh?
OK, bye.
Thanks, Sue. Ta-ra. 0845 6060 973. I'm right about that, by the way. You can write that down. I'm right about that and everything else that I
Let me add that to my list.
The way in which colds, flu, and subsequently bird flu or whatever else is going to decimate the human race, because we're way overdue for something, it will be coming along to a face near you soon. It will be passed on through public transport. I'm telling you.
Oh, I was hoping for a meteorite or asteroid.
And every time I go on the tube, I do think, because you're surrounded by people sneezing and coughing all the time. And what do? They cough in their hand, and then they grab the rail. Where you grab the rail immediately after them, and then you touch your face without thinking about it, or you stroke your chin, or you, stick your fingers in your mouth, or someone else's mouth.
But people on average do live till their 80s, so it can't be that bad. Are you saying if we didn't touch all these rails on the trains, we'd live till we're 150?
No, I'm saying you wouldn't catch colds and flu all the time. This is how colds and flu and communicable diseases are passed on. And a cold and flu, at the moment, will only lay you up for a week or so. 2 weeks if you're unlucky. Shortly, we're about to have communicable diseases that will kill people in vast numbers.
Well, this is very cheery.
And it's going to be passed on through public transport. I'm telling you. Kensington, hello, Tony.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Oh, good. Happy New Year to you.
And to you too.
Okay, hope you had a good evening. Or a good day. Anyway, I heard you talking about cars, Jan, and to put together electric cars and things like that, and I didn't hear you mention about the air car at all.
The air car?
The air car, yep.
What's that?
I've been told by my father it's coming out in May or June, production. It's being produced in France, and it's all done by compressed air. Air is a commodity. It's all around us, and obviously it's going to be the cheapest cheap on wheels, basically speaking, to get around the country.
It's going to be powered by air.
Yes, by air. It's on. You can see it on the internet. It's under the website. If I can say it. It's under www.aircar.org. And they have a little compressed. It's a small little engine in it, and it's the car's made basically by fiberglass and things like that, put together as you were talking about the electric cars earlier on.
Right.
And it's going to be run on air, which is a unlimited, as far as we know, unlimited commodity at the moment on the planet. The car goes.
I've just looked at this site, and this is one of these spam sites.
Well, I don't know. It has been mentioned a lot. Say, you think it's a spam site?
I'm looking at it right now. It is a spam site.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously, because it's having a big promotion everywhere on it. Say, and if you say spam site, I believe you. But it's like I said, there was a lot of write-ups on it as well.
Aircard.org.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about air purifiers, air ionizers, compressed air, and all of these things. And you click on any of them, and it just gives you. You were looking for air ionizers. Here's a list of people that sell air ionizers. It's just a spam site. Nice try though. 0845 6060 973. A car that runs on air. This show runs on air. How about Hainault? Hello, Joe.
Hiya.
Joe.
No, I thought I'd just ring to say about your clothes in your wardrobe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got 3 wardrobes, clothes and boots. I won't touch them.
Why not?
No, because you said, you know, when you go out and they're so nice, they're just hanging me wardrobe. I have me, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I do, I just leave them in the wardrobe.
Right, best place for them. They won't get dirty in there.
No, I've got them on, hangers with sheets on them. I mean, they're beautiful clothes, but I just think, I can't be bothered to wear. I just don't want to wear them. They're too nice.
No, the pleasure's in the buying, right?
Huh?
all the fun is it ends at the point of at the point of the till, correct?
Yeah.
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 And then you just
Bring them home and just put.
And then look at them every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Open the door and take a quick peek.
Yeah. No, I'll take them out sometimes. I think, oh no, it's too nice to wear.
Always be careful of plastic bags, by the way. They're not toys. Okay. Thanks a lot, Joe. This is LBC.
We've all been there.
Okie dokie.
Here is St Albans, Ricky. Hey, Ricky.
Hi. You still got it then? That
Still got it, yeah.
Good. Okay. Bubble car.
Bubble
Remember
cars?
them?
Yeah, I do, yeah. What was one of them called a Messerschmitt?
Yeah, that was the long, thin one where the passenger sat behind the driver.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
In a compromising position. Mm.
Yeah, you could say that. No,
it was a
old bubble
three-wheeler,
car.
wasn't it?
Sorry?
A three-wheeler.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And, well, I think it might be time to reinstate them.
No, it won't. They were a comical confection, and no one looked sensible in them.
I know, but, I mean, where is sensibility with these people in Norwich?
Yes. If you weren't listening before, in Norwich, they're going to be charging you double the price for parking if your car is over 14.5 foot. And come to find out that almost all cars made today are over 14.5 foot.
Yeah. Well, if you can't go long ways, what about going up?
Up?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, if you can't have it in length, have it in height.
This is beginning to sound like every email I get.
Build upwards. If you can't have a long car, have a tall one.
Well, yeah, we tried that, but apparently Ken doesn't think that a double-decker bus is a good idea. He's sawn the top off and hooked it on the back.
Well, I don't know where we're all heading, but if somebody could make a car that ran on human waste, I mean, there's enough of that about. We've got a government that seems to thrive on it.
Yeah, if it ran on hot air, then we'd know where to fill it up, right?
Mm. Yeah, probably the same place as John Prescott gets his.
Hot air. Yeah.
All the hot air he expels as well.
Right. Okay. Thanks a lot, Ricky.
Okay, then.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
mate. Ta-ta. 0845 6060 973. Banstead. Oh, Charlotte.
Oh, sorry, Nick. I was going to
Oh, blimey, it's you again.
Sorry,
Not about Concord again.
Yeah, you know the...
No.
wait a minute, you know
No.
Please, Nick, just let me say.
No.
It has been reassembled and restored.
No. Only one call per show. Certainly not about Concord again.
What was that?
What was what?
I just popped out for 2 seconds and then there was like a...
Everything went wrong when you left.
It was like a car alarm going off. And then...
Yeah.
Then Carol.
Yeah.
We just had a domestic.
Blimey. Sounded like it.
I wasn't good.
Very upset. With good reason, by the way. Richard Branson got her letter and is still not doing anything about it. He scanned it, which means pretty much
This is yeah.
Like that.
There's only so many times you
like
can
this.
talk about Concorde.
That's scanning as well, I think.
Yeah. Peaceful, isn't it?
Lovely. It's New Year's Day.
A mobile. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're on the air.
Hello, Nick. It's about the air car. The air car does exist. He got the website wrong. It's actually www.theaircar, spelt normally, .com. And it is, I've never seen it before, but it is quite an amazing little invention.
www.theaircar.com. Okay, you spelt that wrong, Ros. It's take the S out the middle.
And by the way, Happy New Year.
That's yeah, Happy New Year to you. That's
one ugly car.
Well, yes, it is and it isn't. I'm not really sure how to take that.
But apparently there's two different versions. There's one which is totally pollution-free, which is to be used in cities.
How can that be, though? What does it run on?
I'm not quite sure, because I've just picked up the website myself. I've been trying to fathom it out and look at all the details, but, yeah, I think it might take some time.
After 14 years of research and development, it says, they've... I was reading that. They've developed
an engine that could become one of the biggest technological advantages of this century.
Now, is this one of these... because you remember a little while ago, people like the Windows... man, Bill Gates and Steven Spielberg and Warren Buffett and all of these people were investing in the thing. Do you remember? It was or whatever they termed it, and it turned out to be that gyroscopic platform that people stand on, and it's like a scooter with the two wheels side by side. You remember that?
Oh yes, the one that Bush fell off.
Yeah, and it was going to revolutionise transport in cities the whole world over, and everyone was on the edge of their seat. They couldn't wait to see what it was. And when they released this thing, and we were all like, "That's it!" And
it looked like an old age pensioner's C5. Those old
yes, exactly right. Yeah. So it may be another one of those. It may be a joke. Let me read more about that. Okay.
Yes, indeed.
After 14 years of research and development, Guy Negra has developed an engine that could become one of the biggest technological advances of this century. Its application to compressed air technology, or CAT, vehicles gives them significant economical and environmental advantages. With the incorporation of bi-energy, compressed air and fuel, the CAT vehicles have increased their driving range to close to 2,000 kilometres. How far is that?
Quite a while. Probably about 1,200 miles, maybe.
Is it?
I think around there, but that's just a guesstimate.
With zero pollution in cities and considerably reduced pollution outside urban areas. The application of the MDI engine in other areas outside the automotive sector opens a multitude of possibilities in nautical fields. Because people don't think about this, but boats are actually one of the worst offenders as far as pollution goes. And how do you get all of your food and everything you're wearing? In fact, everything that's on sale in shops has been brought here by a boat.
Yep. The implications are wide and far. It is true.
Compressed air is a new viable form of power that allows the accumulation and transport of energy. MDI is very close to initiating the production of a series of engines and vehicles. The company is financed by the sale of manufacturing licenses and patents all over the world. Well, the car looks like something out of Space 1999, doesn't it?
The toy version of it.
It looks like a pram with a roof.
Yes, it does. It does.
But that's
endearing. But
that's just a matter of styling. I mean, like I said before, you can style it to look like anything you want.
I agree with that. It's true. I don't understand why cars are made to look so ugly nowadays.
No.
I thought they were meant to be aerodynamic and sleek, but they seem to be boxes on wheels.
And they all look exactly the same. And I think that they've just started to get that people are prepared to look different and will pay more to have something that looks like it's had the pen of a designer waft over it. Because new cars like something radical like we were talking about Mercedes earlier on, they got something called a CLS, which is a four-door huge car, but it looks like a coupe. It looks like it's doing 100 miles an hour when it's parked. And it's an amazing-looking thing. And it stands out in Mercedes' range like a sore thumb, because it looks like the only one that's actually had
design.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at them right now. Yeah, they do look very sexy. Yes.
And the Mini is
the Mini's gorgeous. Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything else on the road, right? And it couldn't be more popular. They can't make them fast enough. So I think that manufacturers have actually finally come around to. They've taken a full circle, because you remember in the 50s and 60s, particularly in America, they just bolted on fins for no apparent reason, and lights and chrome and all of this stuff that was...
and they were the length of lorries at that time.
Exactly, yeah, and people loved them. Mm-hmm. And then and then they seemed to sand the corners off them gradually until we got to, well, the 80s and the 90s and up to today, where all cars are just bland and identical. I think we're about to change.
If they could take the design of the new Mini and incorporate this new cat experience into it, then I think we'd be onto a winner, definitely. But I'll be intrigued to see when it's actually released, because I can't actually see a date on that yet, but it's definitely got potential anyway.
Well, we're going to have to do something, because we're still being ferried about with the same ancient choking technology that we were using 100 years ago. And you can't say that about any other aspect of our lives. I mean, the communication revolution we've had, and we're still waiting for the energy revolution.
Yeah.
And it can't come fast enough, right? Because we would like to not be so dependent on people from the sandy area of the world.
Yes.
Because you never know when it's going to all dry up.
And we could then just leave them alone and stop annoying them.
Yeah, that's right. yeah.
And maybe we could all get on and live in peace.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Whatever happened to peace, love and understanding, eh?
Exactly.
All right, thanks a lot, mate.
Thanks a lot, cheers.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Doesn't that give you... that's something to take into the new year, right? As we hurtle through space on a giant loop around again to where we started. Just behind us... on planetary terms, that was the point at which we start again. Next year, when we come to that point again, that's just behind us, hurtling as we are ever forwards into the unknown, when we come to that point again, wouldn't it be nice if we looked back and thought, wow, you know what? It wasn't a terrible year, it wasn't a disaster, it wasn't the nightmare that we had been predicting. Somebody invented a car that runs on air.
Why do they always have to look so dreadful, though, these alternative energy cars? Like
surely you'd want people to buy it, so you'd want it to look nice.
I mean, I know it has to look unique, because it's, uniquely powered.
Yeah, people want to shout about that it is a special car. I don't think it actually looked that bad. I think it could have looked... Well, that thing...
hold on, let me go back to the front page. That's even worse.
If you're not following along... No, I think that looks quite good. It looks basically like a greenhouse. It looks like a greenhouse...
Looks like an insect.
On wheels. It's just a lot of glass.
Two eyes, nose,
and I think that's probably a very nice place to be inside. Because it'll feel like you're outside. Going along in your little glass bubble.
I'd rather pollute the air.
Well, you're now in complete reverse from your position from where you were before. But I suppose that's your prerogative.
I'm a woman.
It's got nothing to do with you being a woman.
Not us.
It's just you.
No, but I didn't say let's not pollute the air before, anyway.
Oh, right. What, to hell with the world? Was that your position?
Well, I'm only here for, what, 80 years if I'm lucky? Don't need to worry about it that much. Well, it's not going to implode on us, is it, in the next 80 years?
You're only going to be here for the next 2.5 minutes.
Probably.
You're off at 1, right?
Well, back on at 6.
6 in the morning? Oh, you must have been bad.
I was.
You're being punished.
I am.
Off at 1 and back at 6. Ouch. That means no sleep at all.
I might just stay up and party.
What about you, Alex? When are you next on?
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. See, that's an easy...
That's lazy.
Easy life.
Nice
how far is your trip home?
The couch downstairs.
Are you not leaving?
No, I'll stay here the night.
Really?
Yeah. It's quite comfy on that sofa.
I very much doubt that. It's not...
I'll let you know tomorrow.
It hasn't been designed with the human form in mind. How could you lie flat on it? It's not long enough, is it? Are you really going to be sleeping here? Oh, that's shocking. Did you bring a sleeping bag?
I brought a tent.
A blanket. I feel bad now.
Oh, hey, what have we talked about this evening, then?
We have talked about driving in London on New Year's Day, swimming, getting rid of earwax, Natural History Museum, Sky News' coverage of the fireworks, Paris Hilton and the new meaning of the word celebrity, parking in Sloane Street, the safety or not of bendy buses, washing your cat, why is yawning catching, buying gadgets to make you happy versus taking a walk in the park, being fined for having a car that's too long, contracting illnesses from public transport, and the air car.
The air car. It's the future, boys and girls. It'll save the planet. Only fresh air will come out of the exhaust, but you'll look silly in it. Anthony is next.
No, he isn't.
Who
Bill
is? Huh?
Bill Buckley.
Ah, Bill Buckley. Everything is all right with the world. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Fresh-faced and bright-eyed. Or something like that.